You're listening to the Gamecasters.
Natalie, Jeff, and Ryan are the Gamecasters, and they do a board game show, inboxes, and nooks and games, and top 5 lists, and sometimes there's fart jokes.
Well, hello there, gamers, and welcome back to episode 72 of the Gamecasters. We've got a fresh new intro for you that we're certain is the missing link between the download basement and all worldly pleasures up in the secret cabal stratosphere where they sip downloads from a diamond-encrusted chalice. Meanwhile, we're here fanning them with their giant green download leaf while they feed each other download-covered strawberries. But am I bitter? Well, if I am, it's only because I'm not covered in the sweet sticky sap of weekly downloads and am instead riddled with the funk of failure and insignificance. Yes, I am your host, Ryan, and with me is Jeff, the maybe not so mad by comparison board gamer, and Natalie, the this is the real reason I drink mimosas, Jonglevitz. We're coming to you recorded from the basement of obscurity this fine Sunday evening, and we have loads of fantastic content to regurgitate into your waiting mouths like a penguin mother just returning from the weekly hunt.
Aw.
We're a board game podcast. Yes, it's true. But the single greatest thing we do is to put on a stupid, silly show for you, full of jokes and memes and farts and stuff. And when you really think that you've heard enough, we double down on the idiocy, though it's tough, and take away, drain the pain with our show that's rough. Here to be the flagship show to keep you glued, not the drab shit show that you are used to. All we want to do is make you smile, keep you coming back for more till you've been here a while. Yes, assimilation is the name of the game. The association station is part of the way that we keep you on the hook and make you feel like you can't ever look back. That won't be right. I can't stop. I'm stuck in a loop. What on earth will I do once I have to poop? I guess it's going to start to smell in here in a minute. Coming out my rear will be your limit. So sorry, Jeff and Natalie, but this is it. I'm going to explode, so you better pivot away. Ow. God. Ow. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm all better now.
Oh my God.
That was crazy. My memory's a little hazy. I used to be lazy. Thank you. What's up with you, Jeff?
Some good slaps.
Man.
Ow.
My hand hurts from this.
That's what I needed, though. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
What's up, man?
Man, I wish something.
We're going to just act like that wasn't
There's nothing wrong with
just
nothing.
happening.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with nothing. That's good.
Nothing is great. You just hit me in the face.
We're starting.
Yeah.
We're starting school soon, so I'm the week before school starts, so we're mourning and being sad about going back to school,
but like
commiserating with
that.
Yeah, but it'll be my first time back in my classroom with students teaching since April of what
started.
Is it? When did we get kicked out? May, March of
I don't know, 1985.
Yeah,
it feels like at this point.
And basically a year and a half. So I'm excited to have that. It'll be like a week of excitement. If you're a teacher, it's like the first week is exciting, and then after that, it's like,
crazy.
All right, well now we're back into.
Can we just have summer break, please?
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't have
that?
school in person at all the entire
No, like I had
school
kids
year.
in my room, which I think I talked about. I had kids in my
Yeah.
room taking online classes that I was like babysitting,
weren't, like, teaching
but I
them.
wasn't like teaching in front of them.
They're in your room just like waiting for you.
Yeah.
Mr. Madigan.
Yeah. So yeah, and we're just watching TV and just catching up on stuff. We're watching 2 shows that are like weirdly similar. One is called 9 Perfect Strangers, about 9 people going to some resort, like wellness
crime
resort.
show? Oh.
No.
Crime show.
But then there's another one called White Lotus on HBO that is about these families that are at a vacation resort. I'm like, that's kind of weird.
That
They
is
came out at like
weird.
the exact same time.
But did you like research them beforehand and go, these 2 sound similar, let's do it?
Yeah, but we were just going to watch them anyway. Like we started one and then they were like, oh, there's another one that's similar.
What are they
Let's just
on?
watch it.
What streaming
HBO
service?
now is The White Lotus, which we actually just finished. That was pretty good. I felt like we watched 6. It was only 6 episodes, so it's easy to just kind of cruise through it. And then the 9 Perfect Strangers is on Hulu.
Perfect Strangers with Belky Bartakamus?
Yes.
I love that show.
This one's 9. This is like the 9th edition of it. 9 Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers season 9.
I can't vouch for the other one. The White Lotus one is like, I feel like it's really well done and well written. And I'm not sure like what happened in the whole show. I'm like, I would watch an episode and be like, did anything really happen? But I want to watch the next one.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
why.
HBO, so it's probably well done.
Yeah.
That's how. So we're going through The Wire. And that's how that show is. You watch an episode and you're like, nothing really went on.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens next.
Nothing like progressed any crazy storyline,
Yeah, it's
right?
not
Or no
like
one
this-
like died. It wasn't like
crazy
Game of
episodal
Thrones,
payoff.
right? Where you would watch Game of Thrones and something insane
Cliffhanger
happened
at
like
the end of every
all the
episode.
time.
Yeah.
It just kind of
Lost
happened.
was like that too.
Yeah.
I feel like every episode of Lost was like,
Yeah.
if you weren't then it was not doing its job.
Yeah.
I started watching a show called Manifest. Have you seen that?
Oh, it's on
Netflix.
Okay, the
Not
only
Netflix.
reason I know that exists is
That's not
Netflix has added this little thing that when you log on, you can just hit this button that says play something. Have you seen that?
No.
No.
So when you pick your what are those little pictures that come up? They're profiles, you know,
Yeah.
your picture profile.
yeah.
So I'll go to like the Jeff profile and I'll click it, and then there's a button underneath that says play something. And it'll just randomly pick something on
you might
Netflix
like or
and
whatever.
play it.
It's like
I'm
a
like,
rando.
Yeah, I'm like, it's kind of cool, but the first time I did it, Manifest popped up.
really?
I didn't
You know what?
watch it.
That's
I
a
just wanted to
great
see what the
thing.
button was.
I'll bet you Netflix knows that most of what people do before they figure out a show is sit there and sift
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
hours, and then nothing happens, and they get pissed off.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what happens
Well, there
to everybody.
even on Netflix too. There's
Netflix 2?
Damn, I don't have that. The
it
electric
has
boogaloo.
like a whole like thing that like says like recommended for you based on what you watch, and so that's probably another. Thing
Yeah, I'm
that's
curious
based on
if
what
maybe
you
that's
watch,
what it
like,
plays.
Here's something you might like.
Yeah, if it's
If you don't
truly
wanna
random,
decide.
or is it
Yeah.
there's some algorithm generated of what
Ugh,
you might
probably
like.
a stupid algorithm. Everything's a dumb
Dumb.
algorithm.
Probably.
But yeah, so Manifest is like the airplane one, right? Or they disappear or something?
Yeah, like they're on an airplane, and then
Is this just mind management?
Yeah.
Everyone
and then
loses
they
their memory?
land, and to them like no time, like they're just on a regular flight, and then they land, and when they land, they're like it's 5.5 years later.
I like weird shit like that.
Long ass
Yeah,
plane.
and so like
That's a long one.
one of the kids on the plane was a
No
twin,
meals.
and the twin wasn't on the plane, so now like he's like still like 10 and she's like 15.
Oh shit!
You know, but they're
Weird.
twins. Yeah, it's interesting.
Wow.
Maybe I'll watch that.
That sounds
Sounds
kind of
cool.
good. While you've been doing that, I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You ever seen that
Oh,
show?
9-9. Yep.
9-9. It's funny.
It's really funny.
It's funny.
So-
you know what?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Deepwater Joe got me watching that a little bit. I'm not like all the way through it, but I'll watch it occasionally. And I didn't realize how funny it actually was until I started watching
Yes. What the funniest thing for me is to just watch Amy Santiago.
it. Yeah.
She's so
Is
funny.
that funny? Yeah.
So funny in that really pretty way.
Yeah.
No, it's a funny show. I would say because it's made by the same guys who did The Office and Parks and
Yeah.
Rec.
Okay.
So it's that was the reason I started watching it because I knew it was like a
Yeah.
Mike Schur, whatever the other guy's name is,
Greg
production
Daniels,
and Greg Daniels. Yeah, I think Greg Daniels is.
Nice.
I know Mike Schur is. For
Nice
sure.
name grab.
Yeah, good job.
Well done.
You really saved me from
Yeah.
complete and
How
utter
embarrassing.
I
embarrassment.
know that from
Dozens of
listening to
people
The
would have
Office
heard this.
ladies.
The same person listening
Yeah.
over and over again, giving us our download stats, would have been like, "What a fool!" But no, I think it's funny. I'm only in season 2. I don't know if they keep this running joke going about the name of her sex tape, but that's a funny running joke.
How many seasons
Oh,
are
where
there?
he
There's
just
like
said,
8.
like, she'll say something and he's like,
He's like, "Oh, that's the name of your sex tape."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny. I think it's still on. I think there's a new season.
Yeah, I
coming
think
out,
so.
And it's
It's got to
still
be
on the air.
close to a decade, right? It's got to be close to
You
10
said
years
there's
being
8
on.
so far.
I think they're
So-
on season 8 or 9.
Yeah,
It's a good show.
It is.
I like that show. Anything else going on over here? What's up with you, yawning one? Natalie's already bored.
I'm
No,
bored.
sorry.
Let's see how long it's been. Let's look at this.
Bored.
It's been 7 weeks since you started
I
to see.
literally
No.
woke up, got ready, went golfing, and like I looked at the temp
You
at
sound
one
like
point.
such a rich snob.
it was
You're
like
I went
I know.
golfing
no, listen.
today.
It was 88
listen.
degrees. Feels like 95 with
Ew.
95% humidity.
Let me tell you right now, golf is a choice, okay?
Yeah.
You chose, no one is forcing you, Natalie, you better get up, we're golfing. No, you made a choice
I know.
in 100-degree weather
It
to
was
go
fun.
golfing.
It was fun. It's just, and luckily there was actually a pretty decent breeze most of the time. But
Was the
my
breeze
point
coming
is-
from the
Because you
back
were-
one?
my point is, I got home and now we're podcasting, and I'm a little bit tired.
You are.
Guess you need a mimosa.
Don't
95
worry.
degrees. Ay.
After we eat our dinner, I'll have some wine.
I have to take a
Everyone
quick
was
break.
worried. Everyone was
Yeah.
so worried about that. Is Natalie going to
I
have?
think that they
'cause
were.
It's not. You can't have mimosas after what? Morning time?
Yeah, mimosas is for like brunchy time.
Bunch of brunch.
It's just
So
a
you
way to
play
cover
morning
up.
also in the
Early
evening?
afternoon.
It's just a way to cover up booze by putting orange juice
Yeah,
in it
just
to
giving
say
orange
it's in
juice.
Yeah,
breakfast.
it's just like
Why
a
can't you
way to
drink
be
orange
like
juice
okay
later
with
on?
drinking alcohol like before lunchtime.
Oh, but is it not good? Like, why wouldn't you
Oh, it'll
drink
be
it
fine.
at
It's
4
freaking
p.m.?
delicious.
It'd be good no matter.
Why don't you
It'd
just
be
have
good.
it?
Yeah, just
Mimosa
have it.
should be your thing.
I don't have any.
Oh,
We have
don't
patrons
the
that are
mimosa.
specifically giving us money
Yeah, we
to
have
feed
money
your
specifically for
mimosas.
I have
They've
a lot of.
it's earmarked for
I
mimosas.
have a lot of
Yep.
wine. I don't have any more champagne. Champagne's not something we buy on the reg.
Champagne. I think that's
That's how it's
actually
spelled.
what it is.
Sound it out.
Okay, well, if we haven't been doing anything else, have we been
My
playing
gosh.
anything else?
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing some games. So let me talk
Joffrey?
about some games I've been playing with before we talk about games
Joffrey,
I've been
that's
playing.
an insult.
Ooh,
Is
yeah,
it?
that's from the Game of
Yeah.
Thrones.
He was a bad
the guy
boy.
who died and poisoned.
He was a bad boy.
Oh shit, is that spoilers?
He was a bad
He's-
boy, yes.
He's probably still
I
alive.
think by
He's probably
this time,
fine.
I think he quit acting after that show.
because he was so hated.
No, because he had
He hated
so
himself
much
so
money.
much.
He was a.
No, he was just sick of acting.
I mean, I guess he
think.
must have been a good actor. Because
He was a good actor.
He was.
Yeah.
Because you hated him.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you hate someone because of their character, they have to be good
Yeah,
actors.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like that reminds me of the Green Mile. That prison guard.
I thought you were going to be like the person.
Like, he's the best character.
That prison
He's
guard.
like the best person ever.
He was
killed
so
those girls.
horrible. So I always thought of him.
Yes,
when
no,
I think
you're
of, like,
right.
a good actor playing somebody who's like hated.
Because he would probably be like typecasted for the rest of his life, right? He would be that little
Yeah, he's the little
douchebag.
douche Joffrey.
Yeah,
That's actually
right.
why they cast. They're like, you look like a little douche.
You're a little
Yeah.
douche.
You look like a little douche. Can
That's
you
what it said in the audition
Another
tape.
good thing,
Looking for
though,
little douches.
Do you have a little douche
maybe
client
when he
sent over
grew
there?
up, he won't. Maybe when he grows up, he won't look
Be a
like-
big douche.
Like a douche.
no, like he did when he was a kid. So maybe he won't be as like recognizable or something.
Yeah, because
He
part
can,
of
like-
the reason you hated him was because he had that like whiny little voice when he would yell, and you just wanted him to just.
Well, and he may or may not have gotten
Freeze
it in
off. He's
season
probably
4.
still alive.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff,
Episode,
what do we got,
whatever.
man?
So I want to talk about. So we played. This was at our mini Nerd Fest a few weeks ago. Dave and Joe and I got to play Destinies again.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you guys have gotten it back to the table.
we almost did, and
Oh.
then we ended up playing SpaceCorp.
That's okay. I'm excited to hear about that. But
for sure.
that game has Destinies, even just with the 3 plays that I've had, has really catapulted itself into my favorites of the last couple years.
What?
Like of like 2020 and 2021, that's probably in my top.
Okay, well, hold on. I want to talk about this for a quick sec.
Yeah.
Now, you are definitely an Omni gamer. I'm not saying you're not an Omni gamer,
Sure.
but you totally skew more towards the Euro side of things. This game is not that.
It's
this game
not.
is narrative, story, explore, dudes on a map.
It's different.
Buying weapons and stuff like that, right?
It's
This
different.
is not a typical Jeff Madigan-ass game. I'm doing
No.
air quotes
Yeah.
right now. So I would love to hear why this has catapulted itself.
I think I'm getting. I think it feels to me like an adventure video game for some reason. Like the app helps the atmosphere. So far, these
atmosphere.
these stories that the first few have told have been really cool. Like, hunting werewolves, or there's
werewolf
sorcery and this kind of stuff. I think that's just cool. And then
So cool.
I love how the game changes all the time and even throughout the game. It's not like, I think in Mansions of Madness, when you go to a token and flip it over, and then you play the game again, you go to that token and flip it over again. It's the
same
same
thing.
interaction.
Yeah, sure.
I think for this mostly is similar, but it changes. Like if I went to a token and flipped it over, and then you went to a token and flipped it over, your interactions are gonna be different. And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It also is different depending on like who you are. If you're the witch and you interact with someone, that's a different interaction than if I was like the soldier. I just think that's the way that the app was created. Like gets me into the game.
So you're like
more.
impressed with the design,
Yeah.
and it helps ensconce you in the theme.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I said.
That's cool.
That is very
That's cool.
cool.
I mean, it was something that I've always. I shouldn't say always because the game's been out a couple months now. But since you've told me you loved it, I wasn't like shocked about it, but I was kind of like, I'm surprised that you like it as much as
Yeah.
you do. Especially now to hear that. It's
I think you would really like it.
Oh, I'm very, very excited. We'll probably play it.
And I think Natalie would find it okay.
Well, then that puts it right in the good, not great category. So,
Yeah.
damn it, that means it's gone.
Yeah, it'd be good for her, great for you,
Yeah,
and then the big. And then Devin and I we've done a handful more of the initiative, which I know you guys started.
Yeah.
And then we started
We got
kind
a-
of after you.
a few.
We're 10 in, so I think we're 5 away. And I think
the
we're like very on the cusp of like something else really big. If you guys remember, you guys played a few.
Yeah.
And there
We
was
had
something
some
very
really cool
cool.
thing
I think there
happen.
was something very cool coming up now. I can kind of feel it.
But there hasn't really been something super cool from where we are
it's
to where you
been-
are now.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of like, okay, here's a little piece, and then we don't have like a cool puzzle maybe at the end of all of them.
Yeah.
Like the first 3, I felt like there was a puzzle, and you solved it, and you're like, cool. Puzzle, solved it, cool. And then this is kind of like, here's one, you might just not get anything. Here's a secret. You don't know what it's going to do yet, and then we might play the next one, and it might be there.
But luckily, each play is like 20 minutes.
Right. So when we sit down, we usually play
A few.
So we'll probably, I think there's 14 or 15. We'll probably finish it in 2 more like sit downs.
Nice.
And finish.
Couple
Because
sit-downs.
I don't want to leave it just like one left. So if we do
sure.
like 2 and then
Yeah.
3. But so that's kind of what we've been playing. We've been playing some other of our favorite. We played 5 Tribes the other day. And
How'd you do?
I actually won.
What?
Shockingly.
Second time ever.
I know. Won.
Holy cow.
So I won, and Mr. Measles sent me a message yesterday and was like, I bought 5 Tribes. And I'm like, okay. And then he sent me a message.
Okay.
I'm like, cool.
What the hell do I
I'm like,
care?
Well, I
You think
told him,
I
I'm like, I
fucking
think you're
care?
going to really like it. Because I think it falls into like a game that can really pull like people who aren't heavy gamers into, because the rule set's really simple. And then he messaged me at like 10:30 and he's like, it went really long, but I loved it. I was like, oh, you just bought it and played it? I'm like, people do that? You just buy the game and
Isn't
then
that
play it
crazy?
right then? So he bought it,
I
he learned the
envy him.
rules, sat down at 8 o'clock, finished it at 10:30. I'm like, it'll speed
That
up
tells you he was excited
with more
to
plays.
try it,
And he said he really liked it. So
Very
I'm
cool.
excited that he bought it and liked it, because there's always like pressure, I feel like, when you're doing
Yeah.
a little bit of content, right?
Of course.
And you put something out and someone buys something and it sucks. And
Like,
they're like,
Right, what if they
yeah,
don't
because
like
then they're not
it?
going to
Thanks a
listen to us
lot.
ever again.
Yeah.
And there goes our download.
Yeah,
There
don't
goes.
trust
Yeah.
our
There goes our
Now we don't even have a show.
recommendations. Yeah.
So we got a big boy to the table.
Oh, yeah.
A couple days ago. And this is a popular game, so I don't want to like, you know, this
Shit
isn't the
all over
hotness, right? No, this isn't the hotness. So I don't want to like spend the entire
Don't
show
get
on
you
it.
all
But this
excited
game,
about it.
not only is this game is called A Feast for Odin.
For Odin.
For
not a feast
Odin.
of Odin.
No, we're not
You hear a lot
eating-
of people talking about eating Odin.
Here we go.
Mm.
I'm not getting into my soapbox or rant, but it drives me a little bit crazy how people say, "Oh, I'm playing a feast of Odin." No, you're not.
They're not. That's wrong.
It's for him.
Yep.
You're giving him dinner. You're not eating him alive.
This Odin guy.
Yum, delicious
He's
Odin.
delicious.
Ew, don't do that. Stop it. Slap him.
slap him. Make it stop.
I feel like that's how long it would take to eat Odin,
Oh man. Maybe longer.
unless he's like, "Oh,
Oh. Well,
Oh my god.
welcome to the Gamecasters.
Jeff didn't even
Home
start
of a
talking
dozen
about it yet.
downloads.
All he said was the name.
A Feast for Odin. So anyway, this game's really popular. Do you know who designs this game, Natalie?
Uwe.
Yeah.
wow,
Ryan's
good,
boy.
Bobby. Well, you should know. We did.
Yeah.
We did own it for a time.
Yeah, and
It's a very
it's
Uwe
so
game
it's ranked.
too.
It's ranked number 22. I'm assuming
Wow,
it's
is it really?
Yeah, I
that's
looked
high.
up. This got to be his top ranked game, right? There's probably nothing
Well,
above
Caverna
that.
and Agricola
Oh yeah,
are
okay,
probably both
okay.
higher, I would guess.
Unless Agricola has slipped, maybe,
Let's
but Caverna probably.
You keep talking. I'm
Caverna
gonna.
All right, so ranked
Hopefully.
22. It's got an 8.2 on BGG. And man, if both of them are up there, that means he has three
In the top 20 fizzle.
that's
games in the
pretty
top
Holy
25.
shizzle.
Is he the only?
He's the only designer on Board Game Geek.
No,
It's true.
that would
So-
have like 3 in the top 20
Maybe.
Maybe
ish.
Because
25?
because Isaac Childress, the designer of Gloomhaven, has like all
Oh.
iterations of Gloomhaven.
He doesn't count.
Let's see. Okay, hold on. They have slipped.
I know
Oh my
Agricola
gosh.
has been a slipper
My
lately.
gooshness. Let's see.
Caverna
Okay.
too.
Yeah. Gloomhaven 1. Okay, Terraforming Mars, Gloomhaven, Twilight, Gaia Project, Great Western Trail, Through the Bloth, Spirit Isle, Scythe, Castles of Berg, Terra Mist, Concord, Wingspan. Yeah, Feast for Odin is the highest ranked
Oh, okay.
Uwe game now.
Wow.
Where on earth are Caverna? Caverna is now number 30. Oh, Agricola is number 33.
Okay, so he has 3 in the
Okay.
top 33.
That's
That's still impressive.
That's pretty good.
That is
Every
still
11, there's one.
yeah. You're bound to find an Uwe game in the top 11. What's number 44?
44 is.
Come on, Uwe.
Oh my gosh, dude! It's
No,
not
it's
a Kingdom
It's
Death
not.
Monster.
Yeah. Man, that game.
Le Havre is number 52.
Right there.
That's another
So
Uwe.
this was a game that looks kind of intimidating, right? It's a huge
Yeah.
box.
Fields of Arle, 67.
It's a huge Fields of Arle. That's a good one.
67. Sorry.
I want to play that one. That's been the one
like
I've.
that
That's like the next one on my list.
It's
I
good.
want to play of
It's
his.
good. It's a 2-player only, right? So it's
Right.
it's very nice
Yeah.
for you and Devin, I think.
So, A Feast for Odin. And so in A Feast for Odin, you're Vikings. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's cool.
I like the theme. It's a cool theme. But this game is massive.
Yeah.
And it's full of components. It's got tiles. It's got extra boards, bits, even chits for Ryan.
Fucking gross.
And what I also think is kind of cool is like not only are like you're Vikings in this game, and a lot of games just have nonsensical themes. Here's something, right? You are ancient something or another. You are a hotel manager, blah blah blah, whatever. But this has like an almanac. I don't know if you've ever looked at it. I'm sure lots of people have not. It is an almanac that goes through like the history of like everything in the game. Of like this Viking was this group traveled from here to here. Here's why you're pillaging. Here's why you're sailing. I think that's
That's
kind
cool
of cool
for some people. Yes, that is.
So
So some people like that.
I didn't really look at it. I looked at it. I didn't read it
Yeah, I don't
all,
really care.
but I
I
wanted
can
to look
see.
at it. But it could get people like
Absolutely.
into it, right?
Absolutely.
If this theme is attractive for you, then that could be it. But this game is jam packed. It's a giant box. It would be, if you think of your normal square shaped Ticket to Ride boxes, the thickness is probably 1.5 times that.
Damn, boy.
Right?
It's thick.
How do you spell thick?
THICC.
C. You got it. Bam. Okay.
Sabathia.
Players begin with a board, their own player board. It has a large area where you're going to place tiles. It has a spot where Vikings are eating. It has a port to hold your boats.
As is
it has
tradition.
stables to hold your sheeps and your cattles. So it's it's not a huge board, but there's a lot of different areas that kind of control everything you're sort of doing in the game. There's a main action board with all these actions that you're going to be taking. There's a few mountain strips with resources on it. There's other boards that you can buy. There's a couple stacks of cards, and that's it. It's a very small footprint.
Yeah.
It took up. We have a 3x5. Sorry, Natalie lent us a 3x5 table. I'm so sorry, Natalie. Natalie has graciously lent us a 3 foot by 5 foot table that we play on, and this took up a lot of it.
Absolutely.
We like spread things out, but it's a big.
Yeah, it's big.
It's a big thing.
It's a big meaty man.
Yeah. So the players alternate basically just taking actions. So you have a certain amount of meeples or a certain amount of workers every round. They're Vikings, I'm assuming.
Vikings. Yep.
And you're placing them onto this main board, and the main board is broke up into sort of like categories.
Yeah, there's 10 million spaces.
There's 10 million spaces. So the categories are building houses and ships, hunting, livestock market, food market, product, crafting, mountains and trades, sailing, pillaging and raiding, and immigration and occupation.
Woo!
Wow.
That's it.
That's not
Simple
many.
as that.
Not many.
And each of those categories has like
20 spaces.
3 to 7 actions that you can
Right.
do,
There's a
right?
million.
And then there's columns, right? So if you want to put your worker in the first column, it's only 1. If you put in the second one, it's 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
And the actions obviously get better once the more
workers you
start.
place.
And so the reason I talk about like the space and everything is just this has a feeling to me of like kind of like a sandbox Euro game, which is hard to, you have these other like sandbox games. You're just like Seventh Continent where you're just going, right? And things happen, or even Destinies where stuff just kind of happens. This is a game that is going to take lots and lots of plays to really get into and to like know what is happening and how things even connect.
Yeah,
Which
so
I
just like deciding to do a random thing. You're like, I guess I'll do this.
Yeah, or after like, after your first play of something, sometimes you say, oh, I'm going to do this next time. And after our first play, I said, well, I could do 38 more things next time.
Yeah.
Or differently next time. And,
Right.
And that's kind of cool. And I'm going to get to what Devin thought of that in a moment. So there's a shit ton of things that like produce points for you. So I don't know if it's really necessarily on. It's probably on a scale of like a point salad, like a Steffenfeld. If you went and said this is a Steffenfeld point salad, here's a whole bunch of ways to score points. It would be on that level, I think. But one of the main ways that you want to not lose points, because your player board is full of -1 points, is you have to.
It's daunting.
Yeah, you have to spend. You probably start the game with.
You're in the hole by a shite.
Yeah, 50
Ton.
to 100 minus points,
Yeah.
probably. You're sitting there. And you end the game with positive, for the most part. You should end the game with positive. But one major goal that everybody kind of has is to try to fill up that board and try to cover up those -1 spaces in however way
That's
you
the
really want to do it.
polyomino one.
Yes,
You can
and
just put your hand there if you want.
yeah, you just cover it. Yeah, you just flip over the board. Yeah. So that's how you're doing that is through buying and upgrading these little tiles, these pieces, which some of them are shaped polyomino, a lot of them are just squares and rectangles and things like that. So the action spaces allow you to get those tiles to fill up your board. You could also be taking your boats out to pillage to get different shaped tiles. You could be hunting. You could be killing your sheep and all this kind of stuff to basically get those tiles, to manipulate them somehow, to fill up boards. And if you just don't have fun filling up your one board, you could buy another one.
Ugh.
And you can buy another board and start filling it up with more things. So I think the last
That is
time I
big
saw...
brain next level stuff.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
can somehow figure out, because the times we played, just filling up that main area on your board is hard enough.
Yeah.
Let alone multiple different.
Yeah, get another
islands and
board.
boards.
Get
Like,
another.
What?
That's
So
insane.
last time I saw Date Night Dice was playing, Ben and Em were playing. I
they
think,
love it.
I think Ben got like 2 of those extra boards and was just going and like.
Ew.
So, but then the next time you might not get that engine going, right? You
Yeah.
might not get that, and I think I really enjoyed that part of it. So
Did you buy extra plates?
I bought a smaller.
Yeah, the little one.
Yeah, I bought a
Right.
smaller
The little
board
guy.
and then a resource
I did
board.
that.
You
I've
can
done
put the
that
boards
before
to.
too, and that's
Yeah.
you can sort of do it. But
Devin bought a couple, she bought a couple of the long houses. The long, like they're like the
she
smaller
did.
board. Yeah, ayo.
She
I
likes
really
it
liked
long.
it. I really liked the game.
Cool.
It's something that it's hard for me to give like a 100% opinion on because there's
you haven't
so
played
much
it
of this
a bunch.
game that is uncovered for me. A lot of times in one game, I can see what I'm doing, what somebody else is doing, and go, okay, this is what the game is. Even if my strategy is different than Natalie's, different than Ryan's, I'm seeing 3 different people play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to take a lot more plays to see what this game has. But as I was doing it, I was exciting. I was excited playing it. Like trying to figure out, how do I turn this sheep? into wool, into a piece of jewelry to then put on my
Yeah, to put on
board,
my
right?
board and cover
And there's
up all these
different like
negatives.
requirements of what can go next to each other on these player boards, and figuring out that puzzle is fun. Do I just want to get a bunch of money because you can use the money on the boards?
And you still got to feed.
Do I want to feed?
You know?
Yeah, like, do I take these ships? These ships are sweet for like hunting and pillaging and these kind of things that get you extra tiles. But if you sail the boats, you get a bunch of points.
Broats.
And then you sail the boats, you get some points, and then you also don't have to feed them because they're not there. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to like weigh in the game. But as I was playing it, I was like, this is fun, and we covered it in about 2 hours.
Wow.
I would say, which
Okay.
wasn't bad.
That's pretty good. I
That's
remember
not
our
bad.
first play took considerably longer than that.
Yeah, and I think it was mostly on my end. I took longer than Devin did. Devin was very like, here's
doing
what I'm
this.
doing, here's what I'm
Yeah.
doing, here's what I'm doing, which was good because it made the game go faster. And then she would go, and then I'd be like, I
What
like
am I gonna do? Oh my
freeze.
God, what am I gonna do? Yeah.
There's like, because you're looking at
Yeah.
50 different options of placing workers. It's not just like, there one, take a piece of wood,
Right.
you know. I'm pumped to play this again. I'm excited to play it again, and I want to add in my new segment on every game that Devin plays. I now have Devin's thoughts.
Devin's thoughts.
Okay.
I love it.
I wrote them down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Devin's thoughts. It's a few sentences. It's
Okay.
like sentence
Wow.
fragments.
Okay.
Okay.
A few sentences?
Yeah, it's sentence fragments.
Oh,
These were
more
in,
than-
yeah.
I'm like,
good.
whoa.
This was like
Maybe more than I've
pretty
ever
Devin
heard.
said something, and then I wrote it down, and then later she said another thing. So I'm sticking them all together.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thought number one: I would definitely play Feast for Odin again.
Holy shit. That means she's in love with it. That
Yeah.
means it's her favorite game
Yeah,
of all time.
yeah, it's the greatest game ever. Thought number two: it's not as scary as the box makes it seem,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
which that can go a long way
True.
because that box is just it's
enormous.
huge.
even when you pull
Well,
out all
even-
this stuff,
right.
you're probably
looking
like,
at
whoa.
the action board, which is not as big as you would think, right? There's all these actions, kind of on a little board, but like you look at it and you're like, no. I assumed she was going to just be like,
Yeah, there's just
many
too
things.
much going
Yeah,
on.
there's too much.
Yeah.
But here's what I think. I think that because there is so much stuff to do, that she can just do something.
Yeah.
Right? There's never and this in Hallertau is the same way. There's never
Like a bad action.
like a bad spot to
bad,
go to.
yeah.
Putting a worker down somewhere will get you something that you can do with it.
Okay.
And whether or not we got to start fine tuning like a strategy, right? But she had 50 places to choose from, and I was like panicking over which one to put it in. She just said, "Well, I have this. I can go here, and I'm going to get something, right? And then I'll do what I can with what I have." All right, the next two sentences. You ready?
Yep.
I liked that not every play would be the same. From Devin.
Okay. Wow, this is like
Okay.
real
feedback.
reviews here.
Yeah. And the last thought from Devin. I want those red boats next time. So that's what she wants. She wants the red boats
The red
next
boats,
time.
okay.
That helps go like you can go
Interesting.
like get those grayish blue tiles.
Wow.
Helps you do that. But
So this was a winner for her.
this was a winner for her, and I think it will. I also don't think that it's super rules heavy where I'm going to need to re-explain this game
Yeah,
a lot.
as long as you know what all the stuff on the boards and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
and you
Yeah,
can
the setup's
kind
kind
of
of a
good.
pain.
the setup.
Luckily,
so
it comes with those cool things that you can
Yeah.
leave all the tiles.
I think
in.
the teardown is worse than the setup.
Yeah.
Because you're putting the tiles away. The
Right.
setup is the tiles are out. Here are the boards. It sucks. It's not like it's not quick.
I bought these insert things. They're like shaped like axes,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
they hold all the money.
okay.
All versions of it, because the money's like connected
Yeah.
together
Yep.
and stuff like that. So all versions of that were held by these two axes, and they really helped
That's cool.
set up and tear down because you're just like you get one, I get one,
Yeah.
flip it over, and so
I bought one of the folded space inserts, and like
Cool.
you gotta glue those together. But I glued it together, and it definitely helped because I was talking to Sam McMeeple, and he said teardown and setup was miserable for him.
Yeah.
and I said I totally get that. I'm like these folded space things have
I
helped.
remember it being a bear.
But yeah, the tear down to me, putting everything back into its spot always sucks. I feel like worse. And then it's like, oh, the game's over. I feel like it's like when you're coming home from vacation.
Yeah.
like, you're
Like,
excited going
nothing's
to
good about
vacation.
this
part sucks,
You know?
yeah.
Setting up, at least you're like, oh, now we get to play it.
Yes.
Yeah.
One fun fact about this game, which I'm sure most of you know, but if you don't, I'm going to tell you anyway. Even if you do, I'm going to tell you anyway. As Uwe was designing A Feast for Odin, he had the idea for another game, which he put out, I think, before A Feast for Odin even was released, and it's called Patchwork.
Yeah, I think you told
Patchwork
me that.
design came out of that what you're doing on the Feast for Odin board, where you're putting the polyomino tiles onto the space to fill stuff up. He was designing that, and he was like, "This could be a cool game in itself." And then he designed Patchwork, And all the rest of his
How easy.
polyomino games. Yeah.
How simple to just do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
this
because
could
you
be
think
one
of
of the greatest
Patchwork,
games ever.
all those empty spots on Patchwork are essentially minus 1 points, which is the majority of that Feast for Odin board.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very similar thing. Patchwork also in the top 100, number 93.
Ooh.
So he's got like
Good
5
for
or
him.
6 games.
Do you guys remember kind of liking Feast for Odin? Or I know you did. You
Yeah.
get
I
rid of
liked it a lot. We got rid of
Yeah.
it. I liked
Okay.
it a lot. Natalie, I remember you didn't like it as much.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
That's
That's okay.
everything.
Yeah,
well,
that's-
she would say that if she liked it, I guess too. But I remember really liking it. I remember Natalie not liking it so much. I remember the setup and teardown being rough.
I kind of thought it was more of a like, are we ever going to play this kind of game?
I remember you saying, if we're gonna play something like this, I'd rather play one of. I think you
The
said
other
like
one.
Caverna or something like that. And I
Yeah.
was just like, damn. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll get rid of it.
You get to play
I liked
Caverna
it.
more.
No, I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. So that is a Feast for Odin. For Odin. By who does that one? Is that
So that's been back and
Lookout
so
Games, or-
it
Oh,
used
I
to
was
be
like, Uwe
Z-Man.
Rosenberg, what are
So
you
it used to be Z-Man. Well, I think it used to be like Feverland Games, and then it was Z-Man, and then they sold the rights back. So Z-Man doesn't have it anymore. I think it's Feverland, which is not.
I picture this like infighting, like actual fisticuffs between like all these publishers. Like, I want this game.
I might be very wrong, but I my box is a newer edition because I just kind of got it, but it says Feverland on it, which is
Okay, very cool. Well, from Feverland and Uwe Rosenberg's A Feast for Odin. We had the great Sam, Miss French Toast on Instagram, over to the house last weekend to play some games.
Yeah.
She desperately wanted to hang out with the Gamecasters because we forced her against her. I mean, because she likes us enough to want to hang out with us. We played some great games like Pictures and Monikers and Teotihuacan and Medium and an Unlock. And a game by the late, great Uwe Rosenberg. Just kidding, he's still alive. But there is not really a rhyme for alive and great. Maybe like the healthy, wealthy
that's a
Uwe
good one.
Rosenberg. That's
healthy,
not too bad.
wealthy. He's probably both of those things.
Yeah, I would guess. You think he's wealthy?
Yeah, I don't know.
As far as board game designers go, he's probably wealthy.
So back to back Uwe games.
Yeah.
So let me.
Uwe.
That's true.
I'm going to cut you off
Yeah, cut
randomly as I'm reading the Feast for Odin directions, the rule book.
Oh, yeah.
There are like little tiny pictures of like Uwe like saying random things in the rule book
Yes,
about like
a lot
I think
of his
that's so
games do
funny.
that. Yeah.
I'm like
The little
oh look
bubbles.
at maybe that's Baby Uwe.
Yeah, that's Baby Uwe.
But yeah,
right,
it's like,
exactly.
you should play the game like this. I'm like thanks.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of his
Uwe.
rule books do that for sure. So this one is a game that was designed a long time ago, and it's very far away from his norm. It's not about farming at all. It's a crazy little card game about making pizzas called Pizza Face.
Pizza Face. I remember that from all that. Pizza Face was in all
So
that.
he's
You remember?
got, so he's got a lot of zits.
No, he has his face is a pizza. Did you ever watch all that?
Yes.
Pizza Face.
There was a character on there named Pizza Face. I remember the show. I don't remember that exact character. And then Jeff told me about this one time. And I'm like, oh, do they call him Pizza Face because of all the zits on his face? And Jeff's like, look him up. And so I Googled it. His
Literally
face
a
is
pizza.
actually
It's
a
just
slice of
of pizza.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a creative nickname. That's just what he is. He is a
That's
slice
what,
of
like,
pizza.
Keenan
Oh
was
my
on,
God.
and
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes.
Yep.
And,
Yes,
It
exactly.
was like the kid Saturday Night Live kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is not actually called Pizza Face. It's called Mamma Mia. Here I go again. My, how can I resist you? In Mamma Mia, players are baking pizzas in a shared oven by way of placing both ingredients cards, which have like pepperonis, peppers, pineapples, all the P ones, as well as order cards face up in a stack. Once the draw deck runs out, we flip that stack over and reveal cards one at a time to the table. Once an order card is revealed, we stop and see whose order it is. Then we look at all the ingredient cards that have already been revealed. If there are an adequate number of ingredient cards out there that fulfill the ingredient cost of the order card, then the card is scored and put into this score pile that will score points at the end of the game. Any ingredients that were discarded, we then continue revealing. Any ingredients that are discarded that we used are discarded, right? And then we continue revealing cards until the next order card comes up. At which point we stop and we do all that over again. Now, if once an order card is revealed, there aren't enough ingredients to satisfy the requirements of the card, first, the player whose order card it is gets a chance to complete the order themselves by playing ingredient cards that they have in their hand. Boom. If they can, they discard them and boom, the order's complete. If they don't have the right cards in their hand, they get to ask for help from their opponents, going clockwise around the table from the player whose turn it is. Each opponent gets the chance to complete the order for me. If they do, they get to fulfill an order card of theirs for free. So it's awesome being able to help people out. after all the cards have been revealed, we shuffle all the discards into a new deck and do it all over again. And after 3 times through, we total up the completed order cards, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Things I liked. This game was raucous, Dukakis. It was really fun trying to complete the order cards of someone else so you could get that free order card scored. After about the second round, I think it was, we figured out like what the game was about and how to play it, and it was much more fun just not really caring. Dumping order cards on the deck brazenly was just really funny, and like kind of expecting that you'd either get help or be able to luck into getting it completed was also just kind of funny for me. What I didn't like, there wasn't really a ton of agency in the game. Maybe there could have been, but after like the first couple of turns, you quickly realize that playing the long game of like card counting is just not going to work. So often you're like, shit, what was just played? How many ingredients of that thing that I need are in there? Sam just played an order card that needs peppers, so that probably means I shouldn't play one that also needs peppers, as hers is going to come out first, and so, well, shit, maybe there's enough peppers for both of us. And it was funny, but it was also just really random, it seemed like. And so if you're not in that silly mindset, which luckily we all were, I could see it being a bit frustrating and like, ugh, this is just kind of annoying. If you're trying to like, okay, there's been 2 peppers, a pepperoni, an order card. Okay, so that means there's going to be like 1 pepper left. And you know what I mean? That could get annoying. Overall, though, I really enjoyed it. And for a silly game, I thought it was a really decent one. I would definitely play it again in a party-ish setting where we're just in like a silly mood looking for something silly to play. Because it was a pretty silly game, I thought, right? What'd you guys think?
Saying silly a lot.
There's lots of silliness.
Nengi?
Silly.
Yeah, it was silly.
Yeah, because of all the reasons you said, I agree. You can't take this game seriously, and you can't try to like count cards because it's just not that kind of game.
Don't forget,
I know about card crowning.
This game was one that I was not looking forward to playing. Ryan's been trying to get it played for like a year. And, you know, I never was like excited about it. And even when you explain the rules, I was kind of like, what? Like, I don't really, like, what? And
okay,
so,
Natalie was way more than just, what? When we were explaining the rules. It was mid round 2 that you were still like, which cards do I draw?
I felt
and
like you
why?
weren't listening at all.
It was great. It was awesome. It just created a fun atmosphere.
We started
part of the
playing.
silliness.
Yeah. Actually, I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, is my point in saying that. Because it was just silly, fun, you know, when you're playing the cards and counting, like, you know, like, what is it? Fulfilling the orders.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say. When you're fulfilling the orders and seeing like what's missing and blah, and all that stuff, I don't know. It's a lot more fun than it seemed. And so I enjoyed this game. But, you know, I would hope that people would keep in mind that don't take it too seriously. It's just going to be like totally random. Not totally random, but a lot of random.
It's pretty random. There was definitely a lot of points for me anyway where I was like, what the fuck's in the deck?
Yeah, because it's impossible.
I don't know
There's
what's in
so
there.
many cards.
Yeah.
It's
Should I put
impossible
another
for you to
card? I'll
memorize.
just put an order down.
You know, anything.
Yeah, the
So
meat of the
you
game
just
is when
kinda
you're
gotta-
revealing them, right? And
Right.
then everyone's like, ooh, what do you need? Do I have what you need? Okay, come over here. I got what you need. You know, that was kind of cool.
Right. For me, it's more just like, I think I saw a bunch of people put pepperonis. This is probably an opportune time to like lay this order
put
down.
this pepperoni.
But I have no idea if it's, you know, there's enough, you know. It's kind
Yeah,
of
no,
that.
for
But
sure.
It was fun. It was fun.
Cool.
I liked it.
What'd you think, Jeff?
I need to go back and talk about Sam. Okay.
Go back. Way back in time.
Now, let me preface all this by saying Sam is a wonderful person.
We hate Sam.
Delightful.
Sam.
She was nice enough to give us gifts.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
so
Gosh.
That was so...
so Sam is incredible.
Okay, now I need to stop. You're stopping.
Okay, yeah.
She got us this gift. Okay, it's on our fridge right now. It's okay, so do you guys remember the dinner party episode?
I do.
Where we talked about the lady at the dinner party who would not let us use 2 forks?
Yep.
And so you like hid Kyle.
Yeah, I
accidentally
hid
got 2
one
forks
of
and you,
Kyle's
like, hid
fork on the
one.
table, and I almost got caught. She was like right on my shoulder. Sam made us a magnet,
A custom
a
magnet.
custom magnet. It's got 2 forks on it, and it says "Don't take 2 forks." Right? Does it say
says, "Don't take 2."
Don't take 2,
Yeah.
and it's got the 2 forks on it. And that's now a magnet on our fridge.
So she got me a magnet too. Do you see
Oh,
my
what was
magnet?
yours?
what does yours say?
I don't
Oh,
remember.
mine has an eye in it, and it says number blind,
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
which is
Also-
great. And then a bunch of cool stuff from the UP, right? Like,
there's
Yes.
maple syrup.
Yeah, it was
a
great.
Candle, different
Everything of
chocolate.
mine that she got Natalie and I has a dickfish sticker on it. She printed out penis stickers and then stickered them all over all of our gifts.
Yep.
It was perfect.
was really
all
funny.
callbacks to the episodes. You know,
Yeah.
very thoughtful and kind and awesome person. Sorry, Jeff.
Now, let me tell you how irresponsible and reckless Samantha is.
Oh, boy.
For driving 7 to 8 hours to visit random ass people that she listens to on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
She didn't know what we actually look like.
Bad things could have happened to you,
Her
Sam.
friends and her parents were like text us
Like,
when we
kind
get
of
there.
nervous
Yeah,
about
they were
it.
nervous.
Like your parents, I'm everything worked out just fine, but we
Did it,
could have
though?
kidnapped you.
Has anyone heard from Sam in a
We could
while?
have taken Sam,
I made her
Sam
tell
could
me
have
when
been
she got
ours.
home.
Yeah.
But she did tell her parents or friends or whatever, they were like, you need to text us when you get there, make sure we're okay throughout. So
But then right after when she got home to them, they were like, you should have them come to us next time. Like they were
Yeah.
like all of a
After
sudden
she
like,
told
okay,
them
these
like
guys
it
are
was
cool.
great.
But
They
imagine
expected her. She's alive.
so imagine just being, I don't know how old Sam is, 20 something, and
20-something.
going, hey mom, I'm gonna drive 8 hours and I'm gonna go visit these people that I listen to them on a podcast. Would you be like,
you never met them before?
you never met? No. Occasionally I talk to them on Instagram. Oh, yeah, you're not
She's also
going.
on stream with us.
Yeah.
all the time.
Basically on the phone. We
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked on the phone a lot.
We're gonna go meet them.
Yeah,
in
we're
their
gonna meet
basement.
them.
Yeah, we're gonna go play games in their basement. Oh, have fun, honey.
What?
Yeah. But anyway, so Mamma Mia. I agree with everything you guys said. I think the most fun part of the game was flipping over those cards, like revealing at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
I felt like in maybe the last round or the middle round, I got stuck not being able to play an order card because I knew it would. Like Ryan played an order card like before me every time, and it's like, well, if I played one on top, all the ingredients are going to be gone. So I got
Gotcha.
stuck in like a loop of like, there's no reason for me to play an order card other than just wasting one.
Yeah. So you kept them to help people.
Yeah,
Your
and I
ingredients.
okay.
liked that. That was the coolest part where my orders messed up, and I can just play one card and fulfill one of my orders
for
and
free.
help.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I liked that. It was also really unique. I don't know if I've played a game
Yeah.
kind of like that.
That's a good
where
point.
You're just building one stack. You can't ever look through it because sometimes you're like, oh, you can build a stack, but you can look through them.
Yeah. Oh, how many
you're
cards
You're
are
just
in there?
kind of trying to guess. Be like, there's probably pepperoni in there, and how freaking wrong are you? You're like, there's got to be one pepperoni, and there's none. There's like one ingredient by the time. That created some really fun laughs. Like when I played, there's one card we had to have 15 total ingredients, and all of us played it when there was like 3. It was
Yeah.
like that was
Yeah.
like created some really funny moments.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would totally play this game again. Like I say this about some games before or after like a game night when you're kind of winding down or waiting for someone to show up because it didn't take very long, was it?
No. Yeah.
25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that was
so.
with some of our shenanigans and
Right. That was
Yeah.
just with the shenanigans and the rules and everything. Yeah.
yeah. So overall, good game. It's shocking that it's an Uwe Rosenberg game. That
Crazy.
you
Yeah,
would be
that
like,
is very
those that and Bonanza, right? Were those his first
Yep.
two? Were kind of like, it seems like so different than
I didn't realize it was that early.
all
yeah.
of his other games.
It was in the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s?
Yeah,
Not
the 90s.
The 1990s.
When we were
When we were only in our teens back
Yeah.
then.
Is this game in like? Can you buy this game new or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know if it was like out
so
of
I have
print or anything
the
like
version
that.
I have
Your version's
has
cool.
like
We've only had it
yeah.
for like a couple of years.
Let's see, 1998. So I have Mamma Mia Plus, which is like it's in this tin, and there's something extra in it, maybe more ingredient cards or something. And yeah, they're both, as far as I can tell right here, they're both readily available. You can Mamma Mia Plus. You can get.
I think that game could be. You might see that game on like someone's like a sleeper list, like a list of games you might never heard of that are pretty good. Like that fall kind of under the radar or are ranked in. That's probably ranked like 2000 something.
sure.
But
And another, how many does it play?
It plays up to 6.
Yeah, so that's another, plus for that game if you're looking for games that play more people and something that's fun.
yeah, good for what it is. Silly,
Yeah.
fun little card game.
For sure. That is Mamma Mia. Jeff, what else you got, man?
Mia.
I got a game about dinosaurs. You guys like dinosaurs?
Ooh, I'd like dinosaurs.
Sure.
This game is not called Jurassic Park.
Well, I don't like it now.
This game is almost Jurassic Park.
I like it again.
Except one letter.
I don't like it.
It's called Jurassic Parts.
Ooh, I like it.
Is that about like dinosaurs privates?
Yep, it is now. Yeah,
Jurassic
it's called
parts. Jurassic penis.
Jurassic junk. Ooh, the naughty parts.
That's funny.
Man, what would that game be?
Jurassic parts.
Well, no,
Lot
with
of
the
uncircumcised.
What?
Well, like
they
don't
need to be circumcised.
I don't think anyone
Do dinosaurs'
needs to be
wangs
circumcised.
need to be? Do they have the ability to be circumcised?
Do they? Are
Dino
they,
wangs?
Do dino wangs look the same as a human wang? Just
Can
like,
you?
Is
Well,
a
do we know? We don't have like
circumcised
photographic
thing?
evidence of it.
Let me look up Jurassic.
Yeah, do they have wings? I've never
Let's see,
seen a
dino-
dinosaur.
I'm
well,
sure
they
it
would
has
have
a
to have a
wang.
wang.
How's it gonna?
They don't
Look how
ever,
we've
like,
adapted
show
that this
it.
isn't. We're not
Anatomy
calling
of
it a wang.
dinosaur sex. I'm just gonna go to Google Images and
What? Did you see it?
It looked okay.
You
The first
you just
image
typed in
that
Google
showed up.
Wang.
Look, no, I typed in dinosaur penis, and it's a dinosaur with a penis as a head.
That's not it.
What?
That's
No.
that's like the Dickosaur.
Oh, here we go. Here, look. This is an anatomical picture of Dicraeosaurus hansemani mounting. No, I can't turn it because of these cords. Mounting another dinosaur, and the penis doesn't look like it has any kind of circumcisable area to it.
Well, interesting.
Internal.
Yeah, but
If you're a
it's like red
paleontologist out there and you'd like to reach out to us and talk about the dinosaur reproductive system and organs, oh boy, don't look at whatever Ryan's
rock.
picture
Oh, that's
is.
not the penis. That's the ovary.
If you would like to see this,
It is?
go to patreon.com/the Gamecasters and give us $1. Give us $1. We'll send you a picture of 2 dinosaurs.
How do like reptiles normally mate?
oh, this is
quickly.
the penis. Here's the penis right here. It's this
Like
blue
a
thing.
like a lizard.
Yeah, the blue thing and the red thing. So
The red
boy,
thing's accepting it.
yeah. Hello.
Which penis opens
Come
up
on
and
in
accepts
here.
the other penis? I'm sorry. So what is this now? Jurassic
This is called
Park?
Jurassic
Excellent.
Parts. Okay. So I guess I'll apologize to 25th Century Games who sent me this and not talk about dinosaur wangs, but this is what you get.
Turned it
So
That's what happens on the game.
this is my last game from 25th Century. 25th Century's
Worth
made
it.
a couple cool games. Yeah. Made a couple cool games recently. Space Explorers was one that was kind of a recent hit, kind of a deck building card game. It had like
Yeah.
it has very cool art on the front. There's a spaceman on there. And then they have a one that I know is
Oh,
one
right.
of the
Okay.
snobs' more recent favorites called Kingswood.
Oh yeah, another one
Another
about penises.
Kingswood.
Yeah, another yeah.
Did you say another Kingswood?
So
What's that mean?
they sent me Jurassic Parts to play, and it's a set collecting area enclosure game where you are a paleontologist collecting and constructing dinosaur fossils
Awesome.
Oh.
or bones.
That makes much more sense.
May or may
Yeah.
not be
the
penile.
parts of dinosaurs.
that make up a
Jurassic
dinosaur.
parts.
Right.
I get it now.
Penis
So
is a part.
the game comes with a shit ton of like hexes.
I know.
And there's 60, and then I got a little tiny expansion, so there's probably close to like 70 different hexes.
Damn.
And you are
That's a lot of hexes.
so I thought about this because you take the hexes and you
basically
split them in
Catan.
half. Okay, so you have 2 stacks of hexes, and you flip over one. So one is upside down and one is right side up.
Got it.
Okay, and then you shuffle them together.
Ooh.
And as I was shuffling them together, all I did was think about you.
Yeah,
not being
that-
able to
that
shuffle
hurts me.
tiles.
Yeah.
So I
He's just
basically
like,
split them into smaller things and shuffled them up. So
And Ryan's just like, bleh.
bleh, he's like dropped them. I'm like, just
Jeff
drop
did it
them.
perfectly.
I'm like, just shuffle them
They are
together.
one giant stack. I don't know how the fuck he did that.
Yeah. So that was what you probably could just like, mix them around. But you have this one stack. So now in the gigantic stack, you have tiles that are faced up and tiles that are face down.
Yeah.
And then you take them and you create this gigantic slab, is what they call it, of hexes on the table. So you take each hex and you just
some are
lay them
turned
next to
over,
each
so
other.
that's
Some
cool.
are turned over and some are right side
I kinda
up.
like that.
So the table is kind of covered in these hexes, and on the tiles are dinosaur fossils. Some are like plant fossils, and then each dinosaur fossil goes to a different dinosaur. So on your turn, what you do is you sharpen 3 chisels, which is pretty easy. You just move your chisels to your sharpened side of the board. Okay, there's like little tokens, and then you have to place. You're going to place these chisels onto the board in between 2 hexes. Okay, essentially trying to split this big slab into smaller pieces.
You're
So as soon as someone creates a split in the big slab, the hexes, you like pause. So the split meaning like it goes from one end to the other or one part to another. You basically have separated these hexes from the main slab. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's more of a visual kind of thing. But if you have to cut off part of the slab. So once that happens, you stop and you look at who contributed the most chisels to that part of the slab, the smaller part that you're breaking off. That person gets half of those tiles. The next person gets half of the tiles that are remaining. The next person gets half of the ones that are remaining, things like that. And you are collecting these hexes to basically put together to create a dinosaur. You have this like field sheet that sits next to you and tells you what the dinosaur should look like. So it says the Tyrannosaurus Rex should have these 4 pieces. The Velociraptor should have these 2 pieces. So when you find them, you put them together and you've created a dinosaur. Those get you points. It also gives you these cool like really chunky, nice like amber tokens or amber gems. They're like those same gem shapes, but they're that cool like see-through orange color. Those cool gems let you do kind of like special actions. You can buy a tile. You can do some extra chiseling. You can just do kind of stuff with those amber things. And you go all the way until that tile is broken up and the last 2 pieces are there, and you split those last 2 pieces, and then it's done.
Cool.
So then you're counting up points. Each dinosaur is worth a certain amount of points. Each like little plant fossil is worth points, and you just kind of add your points up. And that's the entire game. I taught it in like 10 minutes to Devin.
Is there an amber token with a little bug in it?
Yes.
As a
so
first player
the
marker
first
or
player
something?
token might be one of the cool. It's a mosquito in amber, kind of like Jurassic
that's
Park,
cool.
right? So that's how they got the dinosaur DNA, right?
DNA's
So
in there,
that's like the first player token. It's super cool. Yeah, it's like a tiny piece of amber. It's got like it looks like there's a mosquito in there. And this game is really, really like friendly, like family friendly sort of weight. It's light, but I also think that because you're trying to control the cracks in the slab that you're making, it can be there can be some fun like table talk, right? Of like, oh, don't you want to put it here and cut this off? But it's like, oh, but I already have majority. Why would I want to?
Yeah, I'm not doing
why
that.
am I contributing to Ryan's slab? Or there's only one piece left of the one that he's almost cut off entirely. Let me just put one there, and now I'm going to get half of what the tiles flip over. So I think that it creates some
contribute to
cool
my slab.
it creates some cool table talk where you're kind of working together, but you're kind of not, which I think is kind of neat.
And it's got hexes, so it's like basically Catan.
Oh, right, yeah. My God, who said that?
So we used to have this friend who, any game that had hexes in it, she was like, "Oh, it's just like Catan," because Catan has hexes.
Yeah,
in
well, it's the
it.
same.
No,
the same thing.
I don't think so.
So things I really liked the use of those amber gems. So you got one every time you completed a dinosaur, you got one, and it allowed you to create some really, like Ryan always talks about, satisfying turns.
Love it.
Where you can kind of surprise someone by sharpening, like sharpening 2 extra chisels, and now I can cut this all off by myself, or now I can take majority in something that's going to get cut off. I like those little things. There's also these cool special cards. Everybody gets a couple. You can play with 1 or 2. I just gave Devin and I 3 of them. And on the cards are like a little bonus or like kind of a surprise action of, I had one where if I just had 4 pieces, if I had a head, a spine, a leg, and tail, I could just put those together. It was called like the glue
dinosaur?
card, and it was just like you glued them together to make a new dinosaur, and I got points. So you played that. I think that was like really, those 2 elements, the use of the gems and the cards, are like necessary for the game. I feel like if it wasn't there, it would be
Too boring.
it would be boring, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm playing for my cards. My cards, some of them have like end game scoring, so now I'm playing toward that. And then having those kind of satisfying surprise sort of turns really elevated the game for me. Art is cool. I thought you kind of looking at pictures.
Yeah, it looks pretty
the art's really cool. So the art is done by Andrew Bosley, which may not be a household name, but
Yeah.
he has like a huge game that he's
Everdell,
done.
right?
Everdell.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he's the Everdell artist. And this game looks great. It's obviously a much smaller scale and a much like smaller game than are you looking for Everdell?
Yeah, I'm like, we don't have
forgot
that.
we don't have it.
Measles has it now.
But Andrew Bosley's obviously extremely talented, and the game looks great. I love that first player token. The tiles are almost like double thickness, so they're nice and like chunky tiles. You don't feel like
cool.
you're gonna like break them because you are touching them a lot and moving them around. Like I kind of said, I think this falls into a cool weight class of like light enough for families to play, but also enough to be competitive with sort of like a game group. It only took like 30 minutes. My downside would be that once part of that slab gets broken off, you like pause the game immediately, you flip over the tiles that are face down, and then you split them up amongst who takes what. It takes some time for you to pick which ones you want, because some of them are face down. So you might want something that's face down. So now you're trying to evaluate which ones you want. So that could take 3 minutes, of someone deciding what to take.
Yeah.
So that slowed it down a little bit. Nitpicking, because we were done in a half an hour anyway. I taught it in 10 minutes and we played it in 30. So we were done in like 40, 45 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, setup is a bit annoying. Like shuffling those tiles is a bit annoying. Laying out that big slab is a little annoying. But putting it away is super simple because you don't have to worry about it. You just kind of put them back in the thing. I enjoy the game more than I thought I was going to after I read the rules. And it's something that I'm glad is in my collection and I'm going to keep.
Oh, cool.
So now I have Devin's thoughts.
That's good nose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I said good nose, by the way.
So here's
That's
what
good news.
here's what
That's good
yeah,
nose.
here's what Devin said. Devin said, I'm going to pause. So I didn't say the whole thing. It was good. ...
It was good.
But I'm more advanced than this. Is what she said.
Oh, shit. Too easy for Devin.
Yeah.
That's
Because it is
easy.
just like, it's a lightweight family. It wasn't supposed to be some brain burner.
Yeah.
And then we played Feast for Odin, so I was like, what do you think about
That's
that?
a game. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, I'd definitely play this again.
Yeah. But I would look into it. It's cool. Even you could spend like, it's not a super expensive game, but just to have that cool first player token. That's like,
sweet.
that might be my like one, it's my top 5.
How big is it?
Maybe like a quarter.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
Nice. Yeah, that seems cool.
Yeah, what do you guys got?
I know what a quarter is, Natalie. She's like, it's like this.
I
A quarter's
saw
about this big.
a good-looking game you guys
Showed
played.
me. Yeah. Yeah, we did play a game. So before I talk about the game we played, I'm going to talk about the Instagram post I made for this game we played.
What?
So we pulled a little fast one on the Instagram community. Fast one, is that what you would call it? Did we pull a fast one?
That was
I
fast.
guess.
Look how fast it was.
We were doing a social experiment
Yeah.
to find out just how many likes we could get on our post.
You shanghaied him.
Yeah.
Were you trying to Shanghai me?
If we clear Natalie's whistle. Natalie decided to be
I decided.
she decided all on her own to be
Yeah, all by
a
herself.
geeky girl, a gamer girl for a post and show off her assets.
see if that
To see
would make
what
a
that would
difference
do,
in how
yeah.
many people liked our
Yeah,
photo.
because we've seen some
looking to
other
grow our
accounts
channels.
who maybe have a certain growths of their own, do all right. We were just gonna say, like, hey, I wonder what if the Instagram community are just a bunch of dogs, and if they're just gonna So we haven't. The jury is still out because the post just went up today. Jeff has told me that Sundays are a terrible day to
They're a
post
terrible day to
things.
post.
So
that's okay.
We'll find out in the coming days, and it may get deleted after that. We're not sure. So, a long time ago, on a podcast far, far away, I heard tale of a game that takes place on 3 boards.
No way.
Yeah, has a date range in the name, and is unlike anything I've ever played before. Well, that game is called SpaceCorp 2025 to 2300 AD. Designed by John Butterfield, never heard of him, and published by GMT Games, heard of him. The game has been in our
poor
collection
John.
and on the shelf of shame for probably a couple years now, and finally it was able to break through and land on the table. To start things off, this game is truly unlike anything I've ever played before. I've been playing hobby board games now for over a decade, and I don't think I can compare this to really anything I've played before. I mean, it's a space exploration game at its heart, but there's really no 4X stuff in it, which is typically what you see when there's like an exploration space game, like Space Empires 4X or Eclipse or yes, Jeff.
This Butterfield man?
Yeah.
He's seems like he's a war game developer, so you
Makes
might know
sense.
his
GMT
name from like all of his games, like Hell Highway, Freedom in the Galaxy, D-Day, Royal Air Force, Enemy Action.
Okay.
They're very war gamey.
Wow, so it makes sense if he,
but I
he's
think this one
publishing
is like
for
kind of
GMT.
crossed over into like.
This is not a war game at all.
Yeah.
it's not.
This is not a war game.
Way to go,
at all.
Butterfield.
There's no. In fact, there's 0 warring in this game. This is more of a realistic space exploration game. You're not fighting with your opponents or anything like that. It's basically your 2 rival companies trying to best explore and expand into the cosmos from Earth. Okay? The game takes place over 3 different eras. Each era is a different scope of the universe. In Era 1, the Mariner's era, you're just leaving Earth, exploring the surrounding space. So like the moon, Halley's Comet's right there, and then you go as far as Mars, okay? In the second era, you play on an entirely different game board. And then you explore the outer planets all the way up to the once planet Pluto.
Plunto.
Thank you. And then in the third era, you explore different star systems on an even different board. Each era also introduces new rules and adds things that just gets more complex. The first era is really almost pointless and just a way for you to learn the basics of how the game plays. I don't think if we played it again, we would ever play the first era again. The Mariners 1 to Mars. It's just you don't need to if you know how to play. The cool thing about the game is you can play as many eras as you want. You could just play the first one, or just the first and second, or just the second and third, or just the third, or just the second. The game tells you how to score all of these different ways. If you're only playing this era, you score the game this way, right? It's a cool design. It's a really cool design, I would even say. So the heart of the game is you taking actions like moving, exploring, building a base, researching, which is just getting cards, or upgrading your player board HQ. And you start with a base value of 0. So if I want to move, I'm saying, okay, I'm going to take the move action. I have 0 move. If I want to actually move, I have to add to that 0 by playing cards from my hand or by using cards that are already played on my player board already. So if I wanted to move from Earth to the moon, let's say that costs 4 movement, I would have to play cards from my hand that have movement values on them and or cards on my player board that have movement values on them, and the total just needs to at least be 4. Okay, simple.
You
and that's
have
how
to play cards if they're not on your board. Like if you had enough on your board,
if you had enough on your board, you could just do that. Yep,
Yeah.
You don't have to play. Yeah, it's an and or situation. And that happened a lot during the game where you get cards on your board and then you're just like, okay, boom, I can just do the action because of this. And all the actions pretty much work that exact same way. Want to explore the moon to see where you find? Well, that's an explore action. You want to build a base on that moon that you just explored? Well, now that's a build action. And then they all work the same way. You're just playing cards with a build value or an explore value. The cool thing is you can use your opponent's player board. So let's say I want to get to Mars from planet Earth, and that costs 9 movement. Well, I only have cards in my hand and my player board to get me up to 8, so I can't do it. But if I look at Natalie's board and Natalie has enough on her player board plus the cards in my hand, I can say, okay, I'm not going to use my player board. I'm going to use hers. And so I use hers and I play my cards and I get to 9. Natalie then gets a reward for it.
That reminds me of another space game.
Yes, on Mars.
Yep.
Similar to that, right? You can use it's cool. You can always use other players' stuff. They can use your stuff. And then they just get benefits from it.
It's cool.
Right?
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool. So essentially you're exploring these sites in outer space, building bases on them, and trying to amass the most money, which is victory points. There's this satellite board that has these contracts on them. And this is a big draw of the game with how you score points. And also, it's the timer of each era. Each era, remember there's 3, there are 7 contracts to fulfill. And they're first come, first serve. So once I fulfill a contract, Natalie can't also do it. Let's say a contract is, the first person to build a base on Mars. Okay, that's a contract. If Natalie does that before me, she slides the token over to that and claims that contract and gets victory points for it. Once 6 of the 7 of those contracts have been fulfilled for an era, the era will end. The other way it can end is if the deck runs out of cards. The contracts are awesome. They all provide victory points, and you don't realize when you're very first starting out, but that's a huge wave you're getting victory points. So you play these 3 different eras. Again, stopping whichever era you'd like. We played the entire game. We played era 1, era 2, and era 3, and then totaled the score after the 3rd era. It took us 2 days to do it. Mm-hmm. But so we have an experience of the entire thing. So things I liked. I really like the idea behind this game. The ambition of it is really something to kind of behold. It's a really cool design. Playing the game on 3 different game boards, what other game does that?
It's cool.
I've never seen anything
Never
like
seen that before either. And it's not an overwrought design. It's really simple to play. I mean, basically what I described is basically everything. You're just playing action cards from your hand or on your player board to take the action that you want. I mean, depending on what you want to take, there's other decisions to be made and stuff. I didn't explain any of that, but the actual playing of the game and the rules is simple, very simple. The actions are really intuitive. Moving is probably the most complex part of the game, and even that's not that bad. There's some math to it, though, which there was many times where we had to get our calculators out to see if we could...
In the 3rd era, because there was multiplication involved.
Well, if you think about it, on the very first board, you're just going from Earth to as far as Mars. So, theoretically, that's not that much movement when you're comparing moving to entire star systems away.
Right.
So they thematically do that by increasing drastically the amount of movement you need to get from one to the other.
Did that feel cool, or would you rather just be like 10? Just move 10 and you're fine.
I felt like it would have been much easier to just be like, okay, move 10. But it was cool. It was cool because in the each era has its own deck of cards. And in the 3rd era, it introduces these multiplications. And so you'd get a ×3 move. And if I have a 6 move on my board, I have 2 3 move cards in my hand. Now I'm adding 6 plus 3 plus 3. So 12, and then I put the times 3 down.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because in the first era, it might cost 12 move to get somewhere, but in the 3rd era, it might cost
150,
80. And you're like, oh, how am I supposed to get that much?
Yeah,
but there's ways.
And when you do it, it's pretty cool. When you're like, okay, let me get my calculator out and see if I can if this is enough, which is weird, but it's cool. So, yeah, like I said, moving was the most complicated part. I really like the card play. The cards are all multi-use, and you can also use a lot of them to put into your HQ, which then act as permanent cards that you can play whenever you want, and they don't get discarded. I like how you can use your opponent's stuff that you need, and they get a little benefit if you do. That's really cool. I like how tense the game is. At its heart, this game is a race game. That's what I would build this as. If I were to tell somebody, I would say this is a space exploration race game. Cool. Because that contract board, you need to be constantly trying to get those. At the beginning of every era, you're kind of like, we're never going to get all these things. And then all of a sudden, it's like one after the other start happening.
I kind of like that feeling in games.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. We said that a bunch in Era 2 and 3 specifically, where we're like, this is never going to end because these contracts are impossible to fulfill. And then you just kind of keep playing, and after a while, it's all of a sudden like,
I'm
okay,
almost
maybe
there.
I'm actually almost
I'm
there.
about to get that.
And it's like, I could get that one, that one, that one. Oh my gosh. And then your opponent, I mean, we only play a 2-player game. You know, Natalie and I were very much neck and neck most of the game, where it's like, oh my God, if I don't do this now, she might. Mm-hmm. But if I do this now, then she's going to take that other thing that I want. And that was my favorite part of the game, was those decisions of when to do something. All the time I was locked up in my brain about what to do was like, when do I do this? Because I see what she's doing. And if she sees me take this action, she's going to know, A, okay, he's going for that thing, so I can try to stop him. Or B, he did that, which means now I'm free to do this. And it's like, you don't want to give that information away, but you have to by just playing the game.
Right.
Like, I want to go to Mars. But if I go to Mars, she knows that I now don't have enough time to get to Halley's Comet. And now she can go to Halley's Comet ahead of me. You know? But it's like, if I go to Halley's Comet first, then she sees Mars is open, and she's like, okay, now I'm going to go steal that. And it's like, and that's really, really cool. And I really liked that part of the game. That tenseness, right? The actions you take matter a lot, especially towards the end of the era when you're fighting for those contracts, like I mentioned a little bit ago. I like how the game adds rules into each different era, and so it feels thematic, like we talked about a minute ago with the movement. The game's like a big crescendo. I've talked about this before, but the scope of the game is also one of my favorite things. It's really cool how at first you're just exploring right around Earth, but by the end of it, you're exploring these different star systems. You know, you're like going like billions of miles for, you know, potentially, and like faster than light flight, where at the beginning you're just like, I'll explore this little cluster right around, right outside of Earth, and I'm just going to go to the moon, you know? It truly feels like nothing I've ever played before, and I could see it being a game that I would really love, if not for the things that I don't like.
Oh, here we go.
The length. This game is too long.
What about the girth?
The girth is great.
Okay, great girth.
It feels good in your hands.
Just a little too long.
Yeah, it's too long. It like pokes me right in the
oh, hey-o.
it's getting me right in the organs.
The organs. Welcome to Gamecasters, where this is the anatomy lesson.
The game takes too long. Okay, for us to come out frequently, it's too long.
Yeah.
I really liked this game, okay? But the box says between 1 and 4 hours. The reason it says that is because you can choose to only play one era if you want to. Now, that is something I could see us doing. I could see us going, you want to just play Era 2? Era 2 took about an hour and a half. We could just play Era 2 and just do that, and that could be cool. And the first era definitely takes an hour, possibly less. But that's also the least interesting era. So there'd be no reason to do that. The second era was, you know, probably between 1.5 and 2 hours. And the third era was probably between 1.5 and 2 hours. So those two eras, you could probably finish in 4 hours, maybe 3 hours if you like are really just clicking and not going, you know.
Yeah, we would get locked up.
But it's still really long. I could see, I don't know, like I said, just talking about it now, I could see playing maybe just Era 2, you know, if we wanted to play it again. The components also were very much left a lot to be desired. I mean, it's GMT. If you know their stuff, it's pretty much on par with everything, which is nothing special, ugly, and the components are really drab and not all that thick with 2 C's. The movement costs can get a bit mathy to calculate in the later areas, and the bases don't really mean as much as I would have hoped they did. There's these bases that you put out, and there's all these different bases, and you're like, which base do I want to put out? And at the very beginning of the game, you're like, ooh, there's all these different... But then after the game goes on, you're kind of like, well, I can really only put this one, and it doesn't really do... It's just not that fun.
Yeah.
And I would have hoped that establishing a base would have been cooler. That was maybe... Natalie and I talked about this, probably our least favorite, like our least exciting...
Biggest, like, disappointment.
Like, oh, man, I get to build a base, and the base doesn't really matter that much, you know?
Right.
There are 9 different types of them. And you would think, depending on what you built, it would drive your strategy to score all these points, and it just doesn't, you know? So it's just kind of annoying. The randomness is my last annoyance. The randomness both of the cards and the tiles can be very bothersome in a game this long. There's a contract that says, have 4 bases on these certain types of exploration tiles. But the tiles just come out randomly. You can't, like, plan for that. there's not really a way for you. There's one like card you can get that lets you draw 2 tiles and look at one. So I guess that's kind of how, but mostly you're just lucking into it. And so Natalie and I lucked into 2 of these tiles each. And she was like, okay, I'm going to keep exploring and find more of these. And they just never came out. And then I just went and explored and I found them. And so I got that contract and she didn't. And it was just luck.
Right.
And so that doesn't feel good. Either way, it doesn't feel good. And there's a lot of instances that would happen where it's like, I'm in the 3rd era and I need to move. I need those multiplication move cards. And I'm not drawing them.
Yeah.
Every round I'm drawing cards and I'm
You're just
not
stuck on some planet
Yeah,
far,
I'm just
far
like,
away.
damn it, now I can't do it, so I have to do something else. And I mean, the something else you do is cool. Like, it's not like there's nothing for you to do.
Right.
But it happened often enough that it was like, that doesn't feel good. Like, that sucks. Overall, though, I really liked this game, actually. I think the design is outstanding and a real achievement. There are some issues that mostly don't take it down a ton, but they prevent it from playing like super smoothly, but there's a lot of tenseness. The game changes up enough that I think it feels like you're really progressing, and overall it was a good game. It was definitely a good game. What did you think, Natalie?
Well, I agree that this was a good game.
Oh boy.
Well. Let me begin.
Yeah. I really enjoyed like the gameplay of this game.
Good. Phew.
Like, I agree that it was very interesting and cool with the 3 eras. I liked the card playing and how we had like these, like, I think it's called the headquarters, which was your
HQ.
player board, which you can basically choose what cards you want to be like stationary for you to use every time. And
Yes.
you can even replace them and just do whatever you want with it. And I thought that was really cool because you can customize it to what you feel like you need the most.
Yes.
I mean, there was like, I had some really good stuff going at the end and Ryan was using my board a lot.
A ton. Luckily, I had this sweet like power that said whenever I used her
Yeah, of
board,
course.
she didn't get the reward.
Oh,
Right,
of
so that's
course.
why he kept using it. Yeah.
I was like, sweet, I can use
Yeah.
that. Well, because the rewards can be really good. I mean, she just keeps getting cards and stuff.
Right. But I liked that part of it a lot. And then when you were talking about like the movement and, Jeff was like saying, is that annoying? I also like really liked that. I think it kind of goes along with like the card play, but I liked that you could use multiple cards together, to add up to what you need
Yeah.
to move or explore or build or, do whatever the other actions are. I thought that was like really interesting. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's not as like straightforward, but it made it more interesting to play.
Yeah, that's a good way to say that.
I liked the contracts because I enjoy when, there's a game that's kind of like big like this and it kind of gives you some guidance.
Yeah.
So at the beginning I'm kind of like, okay, this is what I'm trying
it
to
says
do.
I got to get to
And then
Mars
that's
first. Okay,
the
I'm
things
going to do
that I'm
that.
going for. Yeah.
Right.
And so I enjoyed that. I like that. So in the different eras, what I think probably I like the most about it is that each era, it felt 100% like the same game because all of like the base stuff you're doing is the same.
Yeah. Just
But
builds
it
on
also at the
rules.
same time felt like a different game because of the differences, made it different enough where it didn't feel like you were just playing the same game 3 times.
Yeah, that's another good point. Gosh,
But-
you got all the good points. Damn it.
She's winning.
my points.
I agree.
Edit this out.
Having said that, I'll say my dislikes are the randomness. That was very frustrating at times. Like Ryan said, like I needed to explore, and I just didn't have any explore cards. I didn't have any explore in my headquarters. I just couldn't pick up a freaking explore card. They weren't coming out.
Yep.
I would end up having to use Ryan's board, which would
gave
give
me some
him
rewards.
a reward. But even then, like that was only 3, so like if that wasn't enough, I'm just like, this is what I want to do, but I can't, so I just got to keep doing other stuff and hopefully get some explore cards.
Yeah.
And so like that was making me mad.
Yeah, we were getting mad a lot in this
Yeah,
game.
and then like the discovery tiles, same thing. Like I started getting a little bit behind in points, and I was hoping because like contracts give you points and discovery tiles give you points. In the game, you're not like getting like tons and tons of points. So it kind of like depends. It's the points, I guess, felt a little bit random, which I didn't like. So like obviously if you fulfill a contract, that's not random. You're like working towards getting those points. But
Yeah, flipping a discovery tile.
But flipping a
over.
discovery tile where Ryan
0
gets
to
one that's
3.
like, here's 2 points, and then I get one that's like, you get -2 points, and I'm like, what the hell?
Well, there wasn't negative points specifically.
Yes, there was. I got one.
You got a negative
Negative
point
2
tile?
points. Yes. I was very mad about that.
Oh, that was one of like the so there's like a couple that are just not good.
Right.
And they always Natalie seemed to draw those.
Right.
That can be annoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I think I got a Pirates one that was like bad for me or something. I don't know. But so like those were like frustrating. And then you can also get points by producing. That just basically, if you use a produce action, it just straight up gives you points. But again, towards the end of the game, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm behind. If I could just get some produce cards and just use a bunch of those to get more points. But do
And
I
you
get
get
any
them.
produce
No.
cards? No.
not.
So
I
like
had
that's
4 of them in my hand.
yeah. So that's
like,
the kind of stuff where I was
produce.
like, this is like a fun gameplay, but that part of it is like kind of annoying because like you said, it's not like some little 45-minute game. Like I'm putting a lot of effort into this and I just can't do the actions that I want to do because of the randomness in the cards. That kind of like took the game down a little, not like a notch for me. And the other thing that I didn't really care for is, like you said, the bases. That part of the game was like I felt like everything kind of like went so smoothly, and then we get to the part where you have to build a base,
yeah.
and we're every single time, even though we played 3 eras of this, we're just looking at this list of bases and what they do, and like which one can I play, and then what does it do for me, and I'm like, I don't know which one I should play. What did all of them do for me? Isn't that great? And I'm just like, I don't know. And I felt like every time we went to build, we just paused and was like, I don't know. This one?
That's
Maybe
a good
this
point.
one?
It did stop. It did kind of screech the game to a halt when it was time to
Yeah.
build.
Is that
So
something that would help with more plays?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
Yeah, probably.
But still, yeah.
But those are like my
absolutely
2 biggest complaints. And so like for me, at first I thought like, I would say it's not great. Like it would be great, but because of my complaints, it brings it down a little bit, but it's still better than good, not great.
Agreed.
So I think it's like between good and great.
So,
that make
okay,
sense?
it's time out.
So wait, good,
Let me
not
draw
great
this.
is between good and great.
Okay,
It's better than good, not great.
It's better than good, not great, but
That's right,
not
that's right.
great.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But not great.
Correct.
Do you think that with less annoying randomness on your part, you would think it's great? Like, do you think it's closer to great than Natalie thought it was closer to great?
I think I probably liked it a little better than Natalie did.
You had a little more. You had a little more things go in your favor.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, the randomness didn't affect me as bad. If I would have drawn a tile that gave -2 points, or I'm drawing a discovery tile that just like, you lose a turn. It didn't do that, but it was basically like,
Yeah.
Because I definitely had the randomness happen to me where it's like, I can't move. I'm just stuck here. I have to just sit here and
this is
wait.
what I wanna
have
do,
to
but I
draw
just
cards
can't.
until I
Yeah.
can get them.
Seems like it's got some cool mechanisms.
Definitely has like
Awesome
it definitely has some really cool stuff, and it is a fun game. I mean, honestly, I could be biased because of how the randomness affected me. So because if it didn't, maybe I would have a different opinion. But because it did, I'm not saying that I don't like the game, because I really did enjoy it. But if that can happen to you, it's kind of just like,
yeah, it makes you pause when you think about playing it again.
Yeah, do I want to risk like getting
Feeling that way?
Yeah, feeling that way.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
In the 3rd era, I definitely had a few moments where I was like standing up like, oh, okay.
Cool.
Like I got
That's a cool
my
feeling.
next like 3 turns planned out. I can't wait to enact them. It's going to be awesome as long as Natalie doesn't do this. Like there was a couple of those moments that were like, if she just doesn't go there, then I can get that contract. And it happened twice that I remember where I was specifically like, okay, as long as she doesn't do this, I'll get that contract. And then she did it and got the contract ahead of me. And I was like, oh no, and so that happened. Yeah. So overall, I would say it's definitely in the, it's in the 10%.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in the 10% of the 10%. It's in the 90% of the 10%.
90%, 10%.
yes.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's definitely a really, really good game. Whether it's great, I don't know, but it's really good. And that was SpaceCorp 2025 to 2300 AD, designed by venerable wargame designer himself, John Butterfield.
Yeah, I need to tell you something about John
GMT
Butterfield.
Games.
So if you go to BGG, right? Go to Board Game Geek
I'm
and
there.
click on
Designers.
John. Yeah, click on John Butterfield. So if you go to the game, you click on John Butterfield. There's a note. So a lot of things have notes, right? Stefan Feld does this. He's produced these games, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The note in John Butterfield, read
It
it
has
out loud.
been confirmed that this is not the same person as role-playing game designer John Butterfield.
What? It's a different John Butterfield?
There are two
that's the
John
note on
Butterfield.
his page.
That's the note on this guy's
that's
page.
sad.
It's not
That
like
is
you look
sad.
at big time designers and there's all about their lives, right?
This is
You
not
go
the
to, like,
Stefan Feld condom
That's
from the
all it
Gamecasters
says?
podcast.
Oh my
All
God,
the
I
note
know.
says is
It's not
been
this other
confirmed he's
guy.
not this
Yeah.
other
Wait,
John
so it's not the
Butterfield.
war guy?
If you click on that guy, does it say it's not the
I'm
other
gonna
guy?
look.
Oh.
Confirmed as not being the same person as John H. Butterfield.
They are not the same people.
That's all their pages
That's-
say. Is they're
oh.
not the other version of the
Poor
John
Butterfield.
Poor Butterfield. It's a really,
He's
really
doing
good
good.
game. I would say if you are at all into space exploration 4X type of games, and you're okay with, because typically 4X games take forever.
Yeah.
Right? Like Twilight Imperium takes 5 to 8 hours.
Yeah, I did.
Right? This game is gonna be fine for you. You're not fighting in this game, but it's really, really good. And I would recommend it, I think. I'd recommend it. All right,
Yeah,
Jeff.
I think I would
Cool.
too.
You got one more. And
I
then
got one more. I got a game called Near and Fart. No. So this popped up in our inbox a few weeks ago of just,
changing a letter.
you changing a letter, adding
Yeah.
a letter. So
What
Near.
do you think about
this
it,
game
Natalie?
is called Natalie.
Natalie's dropping one.
Oh man.
I can say whatever I want. She's not here.
It's not here.
She just
fart jokes, fart
the stairs.
jokes. When we come back, we're still talking about Near and Far.
Yeah.
Just beginning it. So, yeah, it's not called Near and Fart. It's called Near and Far. This is a Ryan Lockett game, and I've said this before when I talk about Ryan Lockett games. They never grab me. They never.
me neither.
But there are people who are diehard Ryan Lockett fans.
They think he's the greatest thing that's ever happened.
and I understand it. I'm not. It's not like something I would say like, well, he's not a good design. I'm not saying any of that.
Yeah.
For some reason, for me, I just don't get pumped up when his game
100%
gets
agreed.
released.
I don't know why either, but I don't really care.
But like when I see, when Bonfire came out, I'm like, Stefan Feld's
Yeah.
name
Oh,
on
that's
that.
mine.
I'm all
Give me
over
that.
it.
Yep.
So we all have like our people, I think. So Near and Far is number 161 on Board Game Geek.
Wow, that's good.
With a 7.8 rating, which
That's
is
good.
high.
Yeah, that's high.
This is a follow up. He has like maybe a trilogy. So Above and Below is first, Near and Far, and then this new one that's getting released around Gen Con is Now or Never.
Now or never.
And Above and Below is not good.
I didn't like it.
And I'll never play it ever again.
People do like it.
People do like it. Near and Far, I feel like is just
Improved
much
a lot.
better. So obviously it's Red Raven, but so let me kind of explain the game just a little bit. So in Near and Far, you're exploring these different maps. Okay, and the maps come in this very cool storybook board game, like board, right? So that's the board that you're playing
Right,
on.
like
is
a
the
Stuffed
storybook.
Fables or...
Yeah, which he's done with
Almanauts.
Above and Below, and I'm assuming Now or Never probably have the same sort of thing, which is kind of cool because every time you play the game, you flip the page and it's a different looking board, which
Yeah.
I think is unique and cool. And that goes along, instead of just having like, you set tiles up in a different way, having that storybook kind of looks great on the table. So
Yep.
that's one of the boards. And then there's a game board above that's really like the action board. So there's like, you kind of take actions up top, and then you can go adventuring down in the storybook, which is pretty cool.
that's
On your turn, you're either visiting places and
Sounds like Above and Below.
yeah. Oh, it's very similar.
Very similar?
Except
Okay.
So and I was talking to our friend Bill about this. In Above and Below, it felt like you're playing this very, very tight resource game in the action spaces, and then you're going down and dealing with a bunch of shenanigans in this story.
It was shenanigans.
Where it was just like Bill said it probably best, where he was like, it felt like you were playing Kalis on the action boards, where it was tight, resource tight, and then you'd go down and you would play Tales of Arabian Nights, and random shit would just happen to
Yep,
you,
it would.
and it felt really frustrating.
Yeah, like, I
this
don't want that to
feels
happen.
tighter than that, or this feels more finished than that.
Yeah.
Which is probably why it's ranked higher, and I think people will lean toward this one. So in the town, when you're taking these actions, you're just like gathering cool adventurers, which give you like different abilities as you're moving around the map. You're exchanging resources and getting resources. You're getting treasure cards. You're mining for gold. You're basically just getting stuff that will then help you on your adventure in the storybook.
Okay.
So instead of going to the main action board, you can just move your character and you can put it right in the storybook, and you can start moving around there.
Oh, that's cool.
As soon as you go into the storybook, you kind of like update your stats, sort of like your kind of life points or action points, sort of things, as you gain them in the action spaces. You have them when you start exploring, and then you just kind of move. And as you move, you might like fight bandits. They're like each space. Just think of a normal map. Each space is connected by lines, and you move different lines, and you're spending resources. You're fighting bandits. You got fart jokes. Okay, just kidding. Natalie's back.
Yeah.
So you're fighting bandits. And then every once in a while you have like a story interaction, which is kind of similar to Tales of Arabian Nights, where you show up somewhere and a story happens to you. It's not as ridiculous, and you don't get wounded or get married or turn into an ape or something like I did. But it really, it kind of asks you to like test something. So it's like, do you want to help this person or do you want to leave them alone? And then you kind of roll, and it'll give you some bonus or hurt your reputation or get you so it just gives you kind of stuff. And it's a cool kind of pausing stop or like a pausing place in a game where you get to kind of read a cool story, which
that is cool.
Isn't like that.
Yep.
I enjoyed that
That's
part.
Always fun. That was the draw for me of Above and Below.
Yeah.
I was like super pumped about it. And then, yeah, same with you guys. I was just kind of like, oh, this doesn't, as a game, it's not working there very well.
So one thing that is kind of the trigger for the game is as you're moving around this map, you're dropping these tents, which you're spending these action points to put these tents on the board. And once somebody runs out of tents, that the game will end in a round.
You're pitching the tents.
You're pitching those tents.
Right.
And so at the end of the game, you're earning points for like building camps, collecting adventures, all that kind of stuff you're sort of doing throughout the game. And this is better than I had anticipated it being. I demoed it at Gen Con a few years ago.
Right.
It was kind of new.
Yeah,
but we only played a couple rounds, and I kind of walked away like, meh.
Yeah,
I don't
really
want
care.
it.
Yeah.
Right. Joe bought it for super cheap at somewhere, like Barnes & Noble or some random kind of thing. And again, I don't normally gravitate toward his games, but I think that I will come back to this one.
Cool.
If Joe picks it, I won't like roll my eyes and be like,
darn it.
I also like dominated. I won by like so many.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I don't even really like. I kind of know how, but it was also I didn't really know. Like at the beginning of the game, it does have a nice like ramp up. Right at the beginning of the game, you're like, how do I have anything? How am I going to get anything? You have these cards in your hand, these artifact cards, which I think are wonderful. So these artifact cards give you more fight or a cool bonus or extra stuff, but you have to pay for them to come out. And some of mine had like, I had to have negative reputation. So I had to like go into this storybook, do like shitty things, kind of move my reputation down in order to get these cards out, sort of.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I'm like, how am I ever going to get $8 and have a reputation down? But as the game progresses, it happens, right? And I think that's a good. Some games kind of don't have that, or it starts off. You have everything to start with, and then you're just playing. You know, you kind of had to be thoughtful in your resources, which I kind of liked.
Yeah, that's cool.
The story interactions I thought were really fun, and I only can assume that they get better and kind of a little more interactive as the book continues.
So
to
are you
flip.
playing in like a campaign?
No, it doesn't have to be a campaign. I think there is one like overarching story that you could play if you play with the same group. But I think that you could just open it up and you could just flip to a page and play that map if you wanted to.
Cool.
Or Joe could play it with somebody else, and we're not missing out on anything if he comes back. Because there's I don't want to guess at how many pages are in there, but I'll guess maybe 30, 25 pages that
and
are
they're
in
each
there.
double-sided.
I don't know. Yeah, like that would have to be yes, but maybe there's 30 maps. But anyway, there's a good number of maps that would feel different every time. You are moving around trying to drop tents, but at least the interactions I think would be different because it comes with a good size storybook as well.
Sure.
That I think that was just fun. It felt like Arabian Nights to me, but in something that makes more sense.
Yeah, there's a game to it.
And I think there was sort of like I said, a good balance between like where to spend your resources, how to put out your artifact cards. The artifact cards were really cool. You wanted to get them all out, but it also penalized you for not getting them out, which I enjoyed because that means you're just not going and lucking into picking up cards with resources that you already have.
Okay.
So I could go and get an artifact card, and sure, if I had the resources, I could spend them and put them out, but I'm not just drawing like 15, like, oh, I'm just going to keep drawing until I get an artifact card that I can put out.
Yeah.
Because every one you keep in your hand at the end of the game loses you a point. So I think that's a fine way of stopping maybe that action. Like if you know you're losing, let me just keep drawing cards until I have the stuff I need. So overall, it was much better than Above and Below in my opinion. It may make me look at Now and Never, or Now or Never, or Now and Later. What's that thing called?
Up and down.
Up and down, sideways.
Side to side.
I think it's Now or
Side
Never.
to side. It is Now or Never.
So it might make me look at that at Gen Con. I might want to go to that table and just look at the game and see how maybe it compares. Because if he's learning, Ryan Lockett, that is he? If Above and Below was okay, that's even a
what is he gonna?
I didn't think it was even that okay, and now Near and Far was good and fun and like worked. Is this game going to be even like better? And I know people like Sleeping Gods. People have like said this is like their favorite game, and Ancient World is a cool game.
We have
There's-
Sleeping Gods. We gotta try. We gotta get back out.
There's one more of his games that I feel like Islebound maybe that people really like.
That's one.
That maybe
He also did the 8-Minute Empire games.
Yeah. Ancient World I enjoy. This one I enjoyed, so maybe I start putting him on my radar when he comes out with a game.
Cool.
But I would say I think you guys you would enjoy that better than Above and Below. You might not want to play it because Above and Below sucked.
I was so excited about Above and Below.
And the
I was
art
just like, oh, it kind of blows.
And this like Ryan Lockett you can't knock him for his art.
You've played Artifacts Inc.
Ooh.
Oh.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
He does art on
I
that
haven't
one, too?
played
He's
like
art on
that.
near,
He does
far,
art
above
on
and below, like those.
Right.
Yeah. This one, if you're going to play one, don't play Above and Below. I would just jump right to Near and Far. Cool. Play that one. It's better. Joe already bought the expansion because Better Half Reviews was like, do you have the expansion?
Really?
And when I posted it on my...
Yeah.
They
He's like,
did,
I do now.
yeah, they did like a challenge a few weeks ago about like, they did like their Better Half Reviews weekly something, and they picked Ryan Lockett game, so I randomly played Near and Far that week, so I posted about it and tagged them, and they mentioned, hey, have you picked up the expansion? And Joe was like, no, but then he went like that day and went and got it, so he got it. So I'm assuming we'll play it again. But overall, I would put it in, I don't think it's great, but it could get great with more plays and cooler interactions. So I would put it in that good, not great category that I would totally play again.
Happy to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of game.
Yep.
Okay. So that's Near and Far by Red Raven.
And Fart.
Near and Fart. So we're constantly trying to achieve growth and increase the chance for our name to come up when people search for board game podcasts. And one of the best ways for us to do that is for if you listen and enjoy us in any way, if you would rate and review us. And the best place that you can do that is on Apple Podcasts. If you enjoy what we do, like I said, even a little bit, it would mean the world to us if you stop by Apple Podcasts, gave us a rating and review. It doesn't take much of your time, and it's absolutely free. Though if you're looking for the non-free option of support, maybe consider flushing your money down the Gamecasters toilet by way of our Patreon page. With 4 different tiers, which will get you access to behind-the-scenes content, exclusive content, or content ahead of time. You will also get swag that nobody else has access to, and just the opportunity to help out and support a podcast, which you sometimes listen to. We love all of our patrons. Thank you all so much for your support. If you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees and that underwater city Jeff has had his eye on, please head on over to patreon.com
so much money.
/the Gamecasters to help out.
Money.
I'd like to talk to you all for a moment about the Gateway Board Gaming Network, which you can find at thegatewaynetwork.com and the Gateway Network on Instagram. The sole purpose of the network is to help new or up-and-coming content creators grow by shouting each other out. If you go to the Gateway Network website, you will find other amazing content creators who are trying to grow as well. They're all amazing people who produce fantastic content. It's very exciting, due also in large part to our merch store. Yes, we have a merch store, which you can find at thegatewaynetwork.com/store. There you can find so many amazing items from a large portion of our members. Today, I would like to specifically highlight our newest member, Andy, from the Luna Loves Board Games Instagram account. Andy, human, and Luna, corgi, are the masterminds behind this fun board gaming account that has quickly gained a nice little following in the past 4 months. Andy posts pics of games, her dog Luna with games, and most importantly has a desire for growth. Head on over to the Luna Loves Board Games Instagram account and give her a follow. And you may have just found your new favorite Instagram account.
I'm doing it right now.
All right, there's one more. Whatever kind of content you're looking for, the Gateway will have it. If you're a newer board game content creator and you're looking for a way to grow your content, even by that one Instagram follower that Jeff just did, please consider heading on over to thegatewaynetwork.com to learn more. The Gamecasters Twitch account has relaunched and we're live every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday night streaming board game and video game content and having a blast talking to all of you. If you just simply can't get enough Gamecasters in your day, please consider heading on over to twitch.tv/Gamecasters and give us a follow and maybe a sub. I have the best time streaming for everyone, and it's just a super fun place to unwind after a long day and watch someone who is trash at games play games. Come and hang out and engage with me in a way that you thought you never could before. And you have to this time. It's mandatory. Sorry. You gotta be here. Anyway, twitch.tv/Gamecasters. Possibly the best way, though, to interact with all of us is via our Discord server. If you go to the Gamecasters Instagram page, you can check out our link tree in our bio to get access to our Discord server. It's a great way to engage with all three of us on a daily basis, as well as meet a bunch of like-minded, awesome people. We have about 60 or 70 Discord members now, and it's a very lively server. People are talking all the time in there, and it's just a great time. Jeff, Natalie, and I are in there every day talking to people. So if you would like to interact with us, you could definitely do that by way of our Discord server. It is now the group love time of the show where Jeff reads all the dirty emails you've sent in. In this episode's Penthouse Forum. Instagram inbox.
Shut the computer off, save the battery.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
Well, it's me again, Natalie,
I like you.
Jeff.
Ryan.
Yeah, I like you.
Welcome to the Instagram inbox.
Thank you for the
I
nice
am your
welcome.
host, me, Jeff, the Mad Board Gamer. So I asked the question. I was getting a little nostalgic, as I was like,
As is tradition.
playing with my son Jack and going, what kind of toys is he going to remember? And we always have these I have memories of toys that I had growing up. So I wanted to ask the Instagram world, what was your favorite toy or game when you were growing up, when you were a kid? Do you guys know that?
Oh, hell
think
yeah.
about it?
Me, for sure. Yeah. I was saving it for the show. I have a couple. Mostly, I had these, they were called, so they're Legos, but they're a specific type of Lego called M-Tron and Blacktron.
Okay.
They had those, and I think they still make these parts now. The Blacktron ones had these iridescent, green, parts.
Oh, that's cool.
And they just made they were the coolest things ever. So my grandpa used to take us to Toys R Us or to Target or something.
Sure,
when we were
yeah.
super young. And he would just let us pick out a toy, me and my sister. And I always picked out a Lego, which they were so freaking expensive.
Yeah.
But he just bought us whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And so there were always the Blacktron and the M-Tron Legos. This is when I was really young.
Sure.
Right? So that's what the first toy that I remember having.
That's
and
cool.
loving.
We had Lego, but it was not we didn't go to the store and buy
A set.
the set. Our Lego was just a suitcase
Legos.
full of Lego, and it was
Yeah.
just put together, build
build
whatever
whatever
you
you
want.
build your
See,
own stuff.
I'm too dumb and I cannot figure out like Chris Pondy built, you know this, right? He built
Yeah.
a working robot. Okay, that's not true. He built a robot out of Legos. Okay, it didn't walk on its own and talk and
Yeah.
stuff. It transformed from a robot into an airplane and to a car, and he just
What?
did that on his own.
From his brain?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I don't have a brain like that.
What on
No.
earth? I always said he should work for Lego, right?
Yeah.
But so I always had to rely on the instructions
Yeah.
to build it.
What
and
about
make
your
I would do the
favorite
same
game?
thing.
Yeah. So back for board games when I was young, really the main ones that I played were Rummy Cube and Cranium. When I was a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stupid, boring stuff.
Nelly, what do you got?
I can't even think of a single toy that really stands out.
That didn't vibrate.
Oh,
I played
what a-
I played Barbies and I had a lot of
buddy.
stuffed animals. I really enjoyed
That counts.
collecting Pogs.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
I had a
I was a Pog.
sweet
That's cool.
collection.
Did
of
you
You
have
played
the
Pogs?
tube of
Yep,
Pogs?
Me
Where you
too.
and you're
Yep.
oh, I got a cool slammer.
I had this big
Yeah.
metal slammer.
Yeah.
I was really into the
super
8-ball ones.
Ooh.
I had one that said my name. and
Did you
stuff.
actually play though?
No.
I think it was more of a collecting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was a
was.
collecting thing.
No, but people in our school would play.
Yeah.
And the way to play is if you lose all your Pogs.
Yeah.
And the winner takes your Pogs.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
that.
no,
I'm not. I'm
yeah,
not.
no.
I don't play that
No.
game.
But
no,
the
don't take my
games,
shit.
actually, I still have a lot of the games from that I liked when I was a kid. I really liked Outburst and I really liked Scattergories.
You're not saying the one that you always talk about being
And
your
Yeah.
favorite game.
well, because nobody would freaking play that one with me.
Yeah, but it's still your favorite.
Just play by yourself.
Mastermind. Yeah.
Well, I know it. You're right.
Red, blue,
Yeah.
pink, yellow. Damn it. Again.
I got it. So I asked that. What's your favorite toy, game, whatever, when you were a kid? And I got some really cool answers, and I'm gonna have more conversations with some of these people because I got a lot of good ones. But I could tell at some answers it brought back some happiness, right? Of thinking
Yeah.
about your childhood and thinking about who you played this stuff with. So
Yeah.
mine, I had. Again, it's nothing specific, but I had this box where I just called it like my box of guys, and it was just like a bunch of like
G.I. Joes.
G.I. dudes, right?
Yeah.
They were like
To play
like
with.
wrestling like action figures and like just random stuff. And then in any situation, you could just take out two, and they would fight each other, or they would be superheroes or whatever. So that was
Ninja
like
Turtles. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're full of Ninja Turtles or
love the Ninja
Transformers or just like
Transformers, He-Man.
Yeah.
I had like all them toys, like the what was the one?
All them toys.
I had all them toys. What was the? There was like this. It's like outer space one with this bird.
oh
Star something. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, I don't remember what it is. Somebody
didn't
out
have
there
boy
in
toys.
the whatever sphere, the podcast sphere. Let me know what the heck it was.
is it Voltron? Oh, that's all I got.
Okay,
Okay, I'll start.
Why is your eyes like
it's not. Keep
It's
going.
not Voltron.
No, it's not Voltron. It's not Voltron.
Oh, okay. Ryan's doing something weird. Okay, so
Jeez.
There's a big spider over there.
oh, where? Oh, by Natalie.
Fucking huge.
Nice.
daddy
Where's it
long
at?
legs.
It's fucking huge,
like
right
on the
above the
wall.
guitar over
Oh.
there. I just know I'm like,
His eyes just went
I
big,
know.
and I'm like,
we're
what?
not gonna notice that.
I know.
Ryan all of a sudden gets silent. His eyes go huge.
I saw it move and I was like, what
Nah.
the fuck is that? It's just like a daddy long legs, I think, but it was freaking me out.
Okay, favorite toy, favorite game. Swoozle chimed in, and he loved playing this game with his grandparents. It's called, I'm going to sound it out here,
Okay.
Bauernschnupsen.
Bauernschnupschen.
Bauernschnupsen.
What does that mean,
He said
Ryan?
it's a game that, like, is just kind of played in Austria, and it reminded me of something like we play like euchre. Euchre's kind of like a Michigan Midwestern
Midwestern
sort of thing.
thing, yeah.
It's a
Yep.
2-versus-2 trick-taking game, and I was like,
Oh.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
like euchre.
Bauernschnitzel.
And he remembers playing it with his grandparents, which I think was kind of cool.
Okay.
So apparently, if you live in Austria and you're not Swoozle, maybe you played that. We're still worried about the spider. Natalie keeps checking.
Yeah,
my-
she's like, checking
Well,
every second.
Yeah.
he's almost to the ground. What if he crawls over and climbs up my leg?
He might.
Oh, you can say hello.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
smash
homemade-
it.
Maybe he has a favorite toy when he was a kid. He wants
Yeah,
to see.
yeah.
That's why he's coming down. I got
Here's the thing, if it gets near
Dead
me-
fly.
spider webs.
Dead fly. I ate them all. The
If
greatest
it gets close
toy.
to me, I'm gonna kill it. So if you don't want it to be killed, you better take care of it.
That's not.
Take care of
All
it.
right, fine.
All right, Homemade Soda, who has chimed in recently in the inbox with some
like that
amazing
name.
answers.
Homemade
yeah.
Soda.
He had this guy called Sucker Man. Have you ever heard of Sucker Man?
No.
Okay. It's like I had to Google it and he
think I
sent me
know
a
what it
picture
is.
of it. It's like this green, again, think of like an action figure, maybe like a foot tall. It's this green thing. And it's made of like rubber and there's suction cups
so you can
all
throw 'em on
over
the
his
wall?
body. And I asked him, I was like, did you just like chuck it at everything? He's like, dude, I threw it at everything when I
I
was
just
5.
typed in suckers.
And then, and then he said his mom threw it away 3 times, and they lived in this townhouse, and he would go into the dumpster and fish it out. So every time his mom threw it away, he would go get it.
Oh, this is cool. Looking. I
Yeah,
want
it's like,
this.
yeah, so you just throw it, it would just stick to things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's cool.
That's
He also
cool.
answered that his favorite toy was and will always be his penis. Oh, so that makes sense.
Wow.
Why not,
That's a
right?
toy.
That's definitely a toy.
That's something to play with.
You have one shaped like one.
So
Yeah, but that's a toy. It has batteries.
both Frank and Dice
Ay, ay, ay.
and our good friend Kim, who is also very active on the Discord.
Yes.
She is
Hey,
awesome.
Kim Rapp.
Both loved these Mighty Max. Do you remember
Oh,
Mighty
hell
Max?
yeah, Mighty Max
It
was
was
the
like,
shit.
do you remember Mighty Max? Do you know Polly Pocket?
Yeah.
Mighty
Okay,
Max is
this was-
Polly Pocket for boys.
I had
Yeah, it
Polly
was like
Pockets.
it was marketed as the Polly Pocket for boys.
Yep.
So it would be like, again, you could put it in your palm and you open it up and it was like
Got,
a
like, teeny
skull or
tiny
like a
little
hand.
Skull is the one I had.
Yeah.
I'm seeing one on here that looks like a spider, which would be cool.
Yeah, so they opened up and inside there was like a scene, right? Like some sort of, and you move these little tiny. It was again, it
Yeah.
was exactly like Polly Pocket, but it was aimed
Yeah,
at like
it was a
Boy
Polly Pocket for
version?
boys.
yeah, exactly. Measles. I'm gonna mispronounce probably the second part of this, but the this kind of structure called the Guns of Navarone. Navarone? It might be Navarone.
The Guns of Navarone.
But it's like
Never
this.
heard of
I
that.
looked it up. It's this badass looking like tower. It looks like
Guns of Navarone.
this. If you thought of like the Dark Tower from the board game, and it like opened up almost, and inside there was like type in like toy.
Guns
Like,
of Navarone. It's a movie, I think.
yeah, but type in like the toy.
Toy.
So probably
Guns of Navarone. Ooh,
Yeah,
this
it's,
looks
like, really cool. It's
like
like-
the Dark Tower.
yeah, it's like the Dark Tower that opens up, and there's like stuff inside of it. And he's Measles was telling me him his friend. I don't know if it's friend or brother. That they would like they had 2 of them and they would like fight each other. You know, have these
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Oh,
Like,
that's cool.
battles. So that's pretty
That
cool.
looks sweet.
Gateway Gamers podcast
Hey,
likes the 2XL robot. You remember that guy?
2XL robot.
You'll know it
I
as
don't.
soon as you pull it up.
I definitely have never.
Remember
I've seen
that
this
guy?
a million times, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this guy has like this. He looks like a generic like robot that you would draw in like the 80s and 90s.
Doesn't it talk
And then
to
in
you
the
if you put,
front,
like a tape in there
it has
or
a tape
something?
player, and it would
Okay.
come with different.
That's-
You could buy different tapes, and it would like ask you questions. It would like tell a story that ask you questions about like what went on, and there was like buttons on it to respond to the different questions.
That's
kind of a cool.
Sounds like
Wow.
something I'd like.
Yeah, it was like a cool toy. So
It's got batteries, so now
boards on tables. Played Earthbound on the Super NES.
Nice.
Which is a great one.
That was one of the first games me and Bill ever played together.
Yeah, and then so both boards on tables and QVO games also play with Power Rangers, which I was into the Power Rangers as well.
I missed the Power Rangers.
I think
I was too old, I guess. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
I think
not,
it probably missed you.
Yeah, I did not see one episode of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Although Bill's older than me and he loved the Power Rangers, so I don't know.
Bill likes a lot of things that are meant for
Children.
children. In a normal way, not like I'm making it sound like a freaky
Not like a
weirdo.
criminal way.
Yeah,
I didn't
make it
watch
sound like
the
a freaky
Power
weirdo.
Rangers, but I had the pink Power Ranger Barbie.
Kimmy?
Yeah,
That's all I know. I know her name is Kimmy.
That was
That's all I know.
everybody's like first crush as
Yeah.
like
I missed her though.
like
Damn.
kids growing up. The CP Wilson played with Ryan's gonna know this one. The Technodrome.
Oh, hell yeah.
Technodrome was
Yeah,
sweet.
baby, the
so
Technodrome.
funny. Like I grew up. It was just me and my sister. I don't know any of these.
You
You don't know the
Boy
Technodrome? If
No.
you looked at this, these are some things that. Do you know the 2XL robot?
No.
Look that up. You might know that
Okay.
one. The Technodrome is like think of like the Death Star, but it's in
It's
in
for Ninja
Teenage
Turtles.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
Teenage
Called
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Technodrome?
Yeah, and it would open up. And inside, again, there's just a bunch of stuff inside that you would move around. But he said he played with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joes and like
Heck yeah,
in
me
that
too.
thing,
Of
right?
course.
So it's like that was the
Yeah, I don't know about this Technodrome.
oh man.
Yeah,
I don't know about
my
that
cousin had the Technodrome.
I knew GI Joes and stuff.
Yeah,
and
you're a
Transformers and stuff.
I got some other ones. You'll know some of these. So Date Night Dice played the board game from the 70s Payday.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
Payday's
that
cool.
game.
I don't know who responded. It might be Emily. She said we were weird. Playing Payday from
Sounds
the
like
70s.
an Emily thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben would own it.
Bad board game covers probably would have got along with Ryan as kid. Played Connects and Lego.
Oh, I played
Nice.
Connects actually.
yeah, Connects is cool. The McMeeples. Sam said he's really lame and just play with a soccer ball.
That's lame.
That's lame, dude.
That's really boring.
Is he just trying to be like, oh, I'm so good at soccer?
I'm a sportsman.
Look how good I'm.
Oh, soccer guy.
I just threw football.
I feel bad for him. His only toy was a soccer ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know
Michaela-
that, Michaela? Did you even know
Yeah.
that?
What if it was winter?
What if it was winter? You can play indoors.
Yeah.
You can hacky sack it.
Michaela played Pokemon Sapphire.
Ooh.
I didn't really play a lot of Pokemon, so I don't really know what that
played
is.
the original one on the Game Boy.
But Michaela, Sam might have said this about Michaela, but I guess she would help, like the second grade boys help at the level because she was good at it. So she would like that was her in to maybe talk to the boys.
Oh,
Ooh.
damn.
But they all had a
girl.
crush on her.
Yeah.
They did.
Miss French Toast
Play
played
with
with
more
Polly
than
Pocket.
soccer balls. Oh, the Mighty Max, the girl
Yeah.
Mighty
Yes.
Max.
I'm
She
with
also
ya.
said she played Slaps, which I don't know if that's like Slapjacks or
Is it those
Slaps or
bracelets?
something.
Those
Oh.
bracelets?
I don't know. She told me, she sent me a message. She was like, it has a 9.0 on BGG. I can't even
Oh,
find
Slaps
it's
it.
a
is an
game.
actual game.
And it's also, and she was like, just ignore that it has one rating.
When I typed
Two
in Slaps,
ratings.
the bracelets came
Yeah, the
up.
bracelets
I'm going to
come
type it in BGG.
Slaps, game.
Oreos are life.
Oh, I see
Yes.
Slaps. Oh, yeah, that's Roberto's
Yeah, and this is like
Fiancé?
Slapjack.
fiance.
So
My fiance, the poor baby.
Oreos Are Life played this game called Mother's Helper board game. It looks like a Chutes and Ladders. I kind of like
Okay.
looked it up. I really have no idea anything about it, but I just think that that's cool that like I don't know nothing about that game, and that was like the game that she
I don't know
remembered
nothing.
as
I
a
don't know
kid.
nothing about
I don't know
this.
nothing about this game.
That was like the game she remembered playing with her grandparents. I just think that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
even though I've like never friggin' heard of that
What's
thing.
it called again?
Yeah.
Mother's Helper.
Mother's Help.
Is it
Never
even on
heard that
BGG? I don't know.
Okay.
Haskell Jr. played Pirate Lego. Love that.
Also, real quick, by the way,
Yeah.
when I talked about Oreos Are Life, her name is Kate.
Kate, yeah.
Yeah.
I called her Roberto's fiance.
Yeah.
Oh, Oreo, that's Roberto's
She has the
fiance.
same-
Her name
yeah.
is Kate. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
and
okay.
yeah, and sheer boredom is Kate's fiance.
That's what we'll
That's
do.
what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we bring up sheer boredom, that's Kate's fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, Kate.
Ameritrash Talk. Josh played with GI Joes. May played with Puppy in My Pocket. Do you know what that is?
Puppy in my
No.
pocket.
Okay,
Who-
they're
who
just
is
like
this?
Sounds like you're
small
just
ass
thieving
dogs.
a
No, they're like tiny dogs.
Puppy in
Puppy
my
in my
pocket.
pocket.
Yeah, I kind of look. They're just
Got
like
a
small
puppy in
dogs.
my
They came in
pocket
like a
for
little
you.
bag or like a little plastic thing, and they were
Why
just
don't
like
you reach
tiny
into
dogs.
my pocket
Okay.
and see what it is.
I've never played. I didn't hear of these.
Give
but
me a little
Yeah, I've never heard of them
Looks
either,
like a
so I had to
thing.
look it up. But yeah, just tiny little dogs,
Yeah, they're just little dogs.
I probably would have liked those.
which I guess makes sense. They're called
These are
Puppy in My
like the
Pocket.
old school Shopkins.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what it reminds me of.
or what the Hatchimals. That's what these are.
A dog-powered vehicle, who we love over here, and
Yeah, I love 'em.
always contributes. Thanks. Played with Ryan. You're gonna like this one. The Castle
with Ryan?
Grayskull. Yeah, played with
Hey,
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
He-Man stuff.
Yeah, the Castle Grayskull from He-Man, which is sweet. It's just like
It's
this.
just- it's cool.
It's a big thing, Natalie, that opens up and has stuff inside, and that's
Gotcha.
like
That's how you
that
appeal
was
to
the
boys.
majority of like.
Well, knowing
yeah,
your
if you were a
dad, I'm surprised your
stereotypical
answer
boy.
wasn't Hot Wheels.
Ooh.
I did love my Hot Wheels. But I remember having
But only yours and
an
not
emotional
the D's.
reaction.
Don't open
he didn't
his.
have them back then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
that
not.
early.
He did not
So you
collect until I
collected
was
them later
older.
in life?
Yeah, when I was like in college, he started collecting it. That's why it was so funny and ridiculous. Because we were like,
His
"What?"
retirement plan.
Like I was like, "I have 2 boxes of Hot Wheels."
Yeah.
You want them? He's like, "Yes, I do." Which I got back and gave him to Cameron. But no, I just remember having like an actual like out of all because I played with every. I mean, all the toys that everybody had when they were a young
all
kid
the
from my
typical
generation, I
toys.
had all of them, right?
Yeah.
But my favorites were those M-Tron and Blacktron Legos because they just
Yeah.
seemed like they were like the nicest ones.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Plurpy.
What up, man?
Plurpy also was the 2XL robot. He liked the 2XL robot guy. And
that
found
looks familiar.
this online, this like full emulator you can play. You can
The
just play.
Plurpy tapes?
Yeah, you could, all the tapes are there. The
call the
Plurpy
Plurpy
tapes.
tapes.
The Plurpy tapes.
The Plurpy tape sounds
Yeah.
like a scandal
Yeah.
from like 20 years ago from
Yeah.
Plurpy's life.
Watergate, it's Plurpy.
got the Plurpy tapes.
Oh no. I got a couple more. So, Adversary Gaming Collection, who I think is new to the inbox, so welcome. Played
Hey.
chess and Risk.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I
Which is
played
good.
both of those
and
as well.
also toys, played Lego, Tech Decks, and Finger Bikes. I had Tech Decks.
Ooh,
Finger
finger
bikes.
bikes.
Oh, wait.
I had.
that sounds
Did you have Tech
familiar.
Decks where they were like finger
No.
skateboards?
I never
They were like
had-
small finger skateboards.
I've seen people. I didn't
Yeah.
have them, but I've seen people play with
I
them.
didn't
when
have them
was a
either,
kid.
but finger bikes are a similar thing.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
both like
so I
tiny little
figured-
things that you just flick around.
Do like skateboard tricks with your fingers.
Yeah.
like,
This
or the
guy's
leg.
real good with his fingers.
Yeah, how'd you do that? Well, I was really good at Tech
I was
Deck
really
when I was
good.
younger.
At it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it felt great. That's my finger bikes.
Yeah. Thomas over in Germany, our buddy. So he played with Lego, but he sent me a message, and maybe they call them this there, Lego stones.
Lego stones.
Instead of like,
Stones?
because I think like people call them
Like
bricks
bricks?
here, right?
Bricks.
But Lego stones. So maybe it's translation,
Yeah.
or in Germany maybe that directly translates to Lego
I
stone.
typed in Lego stones and nothing comes up.
Yeah, but he called them Lego stones. So he said he just had like a bazillion of them, like a bucket of fucking Legos.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
which is kind of what I had too.
Yep.
Yeah.
A bucket of Legos.
Yep. Trivia Geek played this card game called Millborns.
Yeah,
Millborns.
Millborn, yeah.
I never played that game. I had no idea.
Me neither.
I think Bill had it forever and just traded it away.
Oh, really? He said he played with his grandma. His grandma taught him how to play and then never let him win. His grandma played it and then just crushed him every
Good.
time.
That's what you do.
Which was cool.
And then when he finally wins,
Yeah. Nestor played with Voltron, who was awesome. Also played Tetris on the Game Boy.
Oh yeah, Game Boys were fun.
Yeah. Geek Chic.
Silverhawks.
And then we'll end with Geek Chic.
Sorry,
Kelly played Spyro. On,
Ooh,
like
okay.
video game. I don't know if that
The
was
dragon? Spyro
was
the
that
dragon?
a PlayStation first?
Spyro the dragon.
Yeah, Spyro.
Oh, is that like a
Spyro.
video game?
But
yeah, it's a video
Silverhawks
game.
is what I was trying to think of earlier.
Silverhawks.
And that was a
Okay.
show,
Never
and I
heard of
just
it.
played with. I had all the Silverhawk toys, and I played with those too.
Yeah, it was cool. So
Nice.
think about what game you played. Let me know if I
My
missed
favorite
you.
one was the Box of Guys.
Yeah, that was mine.
Box of Guys.
Yeah, this box of guys.
Yeah,
I
bunch of
remember.
guys.
So this is a goofy story. So I had an aunt that lived in Connecticut, and my uncle lived in Connecticut. They've recently moved here, but one Thanksgiving we drove out there a lot of times for holidays, and one time I left my bucket of guys there.
Oh no, the
and
guy
it was
bucket.
like, and my mom tells the story. I was like too young to really, but it was apparently like the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Like your life was
He was
over.
like, oh my god.
Oh my
Thankfully, I
gosh.
think like her mom was going out there or something at some point, and they just brought him back. So I was only guyless for like a week, but
That's
still
good.
it was like
Natalie's bucket of guys would be like a bunch of Ryan Reynolds.
just hot ripped dudes.
Yeah, just hot ripped guys. Yeah. That
So, yeah, that's the
Montigliano guy.
inbox.
I'm surprised we didn't get any like Nerf or Super Soakers or stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I
had
had
toys.
Nerf guns.
I had like the cheap Super Soaker that has like the one thing. You know, I didn't have
Knockoff
anything
Super
like
Soakers.
really awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah, just the one barrel. Me
Yeah,
too.
one
That's
barrel,
all
and
I
you like
had.
pump it like
Yep.
30
Yeah.
times, gets
Yep.
like squirt once.
I also always wanted, but never had a wrestling buddy.
Oh, my
remember
friend
those?
Chad had wrestling
Yeah,
buddies. Yeah,
those were so cool, but never actually got
What's
to
a
play with
wrestling
one.
buddy?
It's literally just a pillow. It's like a short. Yeah, it's got these arms, a short version of like Hulk Hogan or
Yeah.
the Incredible
Gotcha.
Hulk.
you literally just
I
like
just
Ultimate
remembered
Warrior.
that it was like a Stretch Armstrong type thing
Yes.
where you like pull the
exactly what it is,
body,
Stretch
the
Armstrong.
limbs. That's what it is.
No,
Yeah.
Stretch Armstrong is a thing.
I know, but like
That's not a wrestling buddy.
right. Like the thing I'm thinking of isn't Stretch Armstrong, but it's like that.
Oh,
I had my friend had a Stretch Armstrong, like an actual like
Yeah.
like
the
Rhythm
brand
Stretch
name one.
Armstrong. Alabama man, awesome. That's
Yeah, so that was cool.
That's a good inbox. That was fun.
Thanks.
It's now time to take out our aggression, Office Space style, on an unsuspecting jamming printer in the middle of a field in slow mo. In this episode's board game beatdown.
He gave you number one. He gave you number one. He gave you number one. He gave you number one.
Today's board game beatdown. I decided to beat down one of Ryan and Jeff's favorite games.
Shit. We're going to get pissed.
I'm going to get so fucking angry.
This was kind of more relevant last week, but whatever. I'm still doing it. It's ranked 424. Got any guesses?
Hold on.
Ranked 424.
What game do we
relevant
love?
last week. What did we play last week?
Pictures. Medium. No.
Barnes and Noble.
Probably
Barnes and Noble?
probably
I
Barnes
can't
and
think
Noble.
on the spot.
Hunter Teutonica.
Yeah.
No, that's Ryan's
No,
favorite
it's just
game.
me.
Do we already
No,
do
Hunter
that one?
Teutonica is way higher than that. What is it, damn it?
It's Lords of Vegas.
I told you.
Man, that game's so good.
You better not beat this shit down.
And that's the end of the board game beatdown. What is next?
We are not allowing any of this to happen.
Well, it's happening.
All right, what do these fucking losers have to say?
So, yeah, this game, I wrote down. So the reason I picked this was because we played it during
it's awesome.
Jeff's Mini Nerd Fest. Or I played it. Jeff played it too.
I can play.
This game
So
is
WeWorks.
very much based on luck. It's about Vegas and gambling, and you can't go into this game thinking you have much of a say in the outcome because everything you built can be taken away in an instant. And I realized
Vegas,
this
baby.
when I played it, that I have to play it with the right group
That's
and go
Dallas.
into it enjoying like the crazy moments and not focusing on winning.
Yep.
So basically, I wanted to see what other people have to say about it, but
See what other
more
idiots.
specifically,
But they all loved
the
it.
ones who
Next
rated it the
segment.
lowest.
All right, big dummies. Let's hear what you guys say.
So John Craven said, way too much luck in this game. Yep, agreed. Smokey Joe says,
Oh, that was it, huh?
That's it. Well, all right,
Yep.
John. I guess
Unoriginal
I can't.
bastard.
Yeah. Cool.
That's
Nice
all you
one.
got? What else you got?
Smokey Joe says, terrible, entirely based on luck, giving a huge advantage to whomever draws the right cards or rolls the best dice, totally overruling any strategy you might try and play, leading only to massive frustration and utter randomness.
If you go into the game thinking you're going to have a strategy that's going to do anything,
What was
you
this
can
dummy's
play
name?
the odds.
Smokey
That is all
Joe.
you can do. Do you go to the casino also and be like,
Yeah.
well, I was playing blackjack and
The odds are not my
I had this really
favorite.
good strategy and then it got ruined because the cards turned out the wrong way.
Yeah, shut up, Smokey
You should
Joe.
know that. If you're going into this game, you can't have a strategy.
It's about Vegas.
My strategy is to roll sixes every time.
Yeah, it's Vegas, baby. That's what you get.
Ass mother.
Four Corners says, awful, random die rolls, random card draws, rich get richer nightmare that's not even that short.
That's Vegas, baby.
That's Vegas. Okay, I mean, listen, I'm not going to disagree with these things, but
Apparently they don't like the randomness.
I disagree with their mentality.
I understand not liking it for the I guess what I don't understand is the
Like,
game
what do
is
you
called
expect? It's
Lords
about
of
gambling.
Vegas.
Yeah.
You should not ever go into this game thinking like, okay, last time I didn't roll enough fives. This time I'm gonna make sure to roll
This
those
is what
fives.
I'm going for.
Last
I'm
time-
going for sixes.
Tivoli didn't come out. Let's go for Tivoli
Yeah.
this time. Like that's not gonna work, dude.
I think they're playing it with losers. These people are playing with
Yeah.
non-fun losers.
Right.
Aaron Pound says, this game is garbage. Actually, calling it a game is elevating it beyond what it really is. If you want the Lords of Vegas experience, just go get some six-siders and give everyone one. Everyone roll, and the person with the high roll wins. There, you've had the entire Lords of Vegas experience and saved yourself an hour.
Shut up, Aaron.
First of all, the game takes a lot longer than
Wow,
an
an
hour.
hour. Good man.
You can get through Lord of Vegas in an hour.
That's why it sucked for them. They didn't do any reorganizing.
Get a bunch of six-siders. Who calls dice
Six-siders.
six-siders?
Aaron Pound. That's who it
Aaron
is.
Pound.
Moramis says, total luck fest.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I can't argue there.
What's your problem?
It is a
Board
luck
Gamer says,
fest. Board
Oh.
gamer. Wow.
Well, we got to
This is
listen to this
original.
guy. He
This
is
is
the board
original.
gamer.
when the dice behave, this game will be fine.
Oh,
when they
behave.
don't, you will have your position destroyed by luck. I won't play this again.
Which is amazingly fun. That's what's fun about it.
What he didn't say is, and then the next time you'll be the one
Yeah.
doing it to
Yeah.
them.
Matello says, just too much randomness. The whole game feels like you're trying to battle the randomness instead of planning and strategy to win the game.
Yep.
I mean-
yeah, that's Vegas, baby.
I can see why people could enjoy it, but just not a game for me.
I guess there is strategy is the wrong word, I think, to use. Maybe that's what people are getting upset about because they're like, okay, I'm currently the boss of this 3-tile casino. I'm going to now expand this and have this amazing 6-tile casino that no one's going to touch, and I'm going to go crazy. But that's not how any game is played. Think of Carcassonne. You have this kick-ass city you're building. Somebody else can randomly draw the tiles, and then they can get into your city and take it over, and you score nothing. It's the same thing with this game. If I have this 3-tile casino or 4-tile casino that's mine, the other players are going to be like, well, we can't just let him score all those points. Let's try to get into that casino and repaint. There's a bunch of really cool things in this game that let you be clever inside of the randomness, right? Like, okay, Jeff just noticed that my casino was somebody tried to become the boss. and it rolled a 1-1, a 3, and a 4. And I won it with a 4. Jeff happens to own the lot right next to that casino that's touching it. That's a 5. So Jeff now goes, if I just build a 1-tile casino of that color, I now become the boss of that. And isn't that awesome? That's a cool turn for Jeff. Yeah, it kind of sucks because, I'm a 4 and Jeff's a 5 next to it and he can build there. Yeah, it sucks for you. Think of how cool that is for Jeff. And that doesn't only happen to Jeff. That's going to happen to you in another area. Or now you still have 4 of the 5 dice in that casino. Just pay, re-roll it, and chances are you're going to take the boss over again.
I think it's like
you don't just
on your turn. So in Lords of Vegas, on your turn, you can control everything. Right? You can make it feel random for everybody else, right? I can now re-roll
I'm making
5 casinos if I want to. Yeah. I'm going to make you re-roll, and I'm going to change this and do this. I love that feeling, but to everybody else, it's like, oh, that's random. But of course, but on my turn, it might not be. On my turn, I'm choosing what to do.
Yeah, there's you have a lot of agency. It's not just, okay, it's my turn, now I roll a dice. It's your turn, you roll the dice. It's your turn, you roll the dice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, when when Tivoli never comes up and you got the gray is Tivoli, right? You have gray all over the board. Like, okay, it's going to come up now because I'm playing the odds, and it never does. And it's like, that
But
sucks.
I think it's a mentality thing. It's a mindset. How are you going into this game? Are you going into this game trying to beat Vegas or just enjoy the play?
Yeah, it's the Galaxy Trucker mentality.
Yeah, thanks a lot, board gamer.
Okay,
Stupid
guys
ass
getting
board
really
gamer.
worked up about this.
Sorry about that.
Touchstone the Fool says.
Okay, we already know. Do you even have to read it? His name is Touchstone the Fool.
Oh, yeah, he's a fool.
He's a
fool.
I realize I haven't updated this comment since the first time I played, and have had a few more since then. I really dislike this design.
Stop playing it then, dumbass.
And feel like I'm in the minority.
Get a
The game
fucking
is
job.
random and chaotic and entirely too lucky for how long and intricate it is. The thing that gets me is that since these facets are nothing if not deeply thematic, lots of people seem to enjoy riding that whirlwind wherever it takes them. Oftentimes this means into the ground.
I'm fine with that. That last sentence
That's right. He's right
has
about
slightly recovered him from being a stupid idiot.
that. I mean, he's right about that.
You ride the wave of the game, yes.
I guess most of these comments I can understand. Okay, I played this. I didn't realize this is how it was going to be. I don't enjoy the swinginess, the luckiness, the randomness. I don't enjoy that. It's thundering outside.
It's more of a, I don't want to say better, but it's a better opinion than just saying like, well,
if you're like,
this game sucks, it's too lucky, but it's like
that's
clearly
redonk.
like obviously a lucky game. Anyways, Ibashi says,
Ibashi?
There was a serious debate tonight regarding the rating of this game. After consulting the BGG rating guidelines, I find that my initial response of wanting to give this game a 1 was inaccurate. I find this game to be extremely annoying as opposed to completely broken. Playing it felt like a chore, and to be honest, I've never seen such hostility during a game.
Oh, that's not broken.
The mechanics drive me insane. You have the option of purchasing lots you randomly are assigned, but have little to no chance of getting lots you actually want. Expanding by surging or trading comes at great cost, and the only deals that hit the table were usually one-sided and done solely to attempt to screw a third party from being a casino boss.
That is just one.
Maybe it was just the group we played with. None of us are gamblers, or so the theme was wasted on us. About 2/3 of the way through, my husband made the wise comment, Chinatown is such a better game. Once that was said, it felt almost pointless to finish the game.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack in this one. First of all, nerd alert. Read the first line of that again. Just read the very first line.
There was a serious debate tonight regarding the rating of this game.
Come on. And then the next line.
After consulting the BGG rating guidelines, I find that my initial rating
words of the guidelines of this.
What a freaking dweeb, unless you're a listener. What a stupid dweeb. Oh my God. Okay. I mean, just go on.
I got 2 more.
Just go on.
C. Soren, I'm not a gambler. I do not understand the pleasure gambling provides to some people. This game is all about gambling. Therefore, it is not surprising that I did not like it in the least.
I agree with you.
Okay, fine, loser. Move on.
I agree with you. It's not surprising if you don't like gambling that you're not going to like this game.
It's a game called Lords of Vegas.
You're going to gamble.
And last, the Triangle Man says,
worker placement.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of like
the Triangle
gibberish.
Man?
Just like blah, 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 blah. Yep, that random beautiful game board, awful board game.
Beautiful game board. It is a cool game board.
Like random.
Yep, it's that random. That's funny. It's not. There's dice rolling. Like, okay, I get that, when the lots come out, it's random, right? When the cards come out, that's random. When the dice are rolled, it's random. But it's all odds. It's not. The only thing that's truly random, I guess, is the lots. When the lot is drawn and it comes out, okay, you have There's literally no odds playing there until later in the game. But when you're rolling dice to reorganize a casino, you should be doing it, unless it's a last-ditch effort just to hopefully luck into it. You should be probably spending your money wisely enough that you think, okay, there's a reasonable chance that I could win this die roll.
Yeah.
I have 2 dice. Everyone else only has 1. Yeah, there's 6 of us involved here, but I have a better chance than everyone else, okay? You're playing the odds there. Same with the way the casinos come out. We talk about like, oh, Tivoli never comes out, right? But I would still play that way every single game, where if Tivoli is the least casino that's come up, I'm going to build Tivoli.
Yeah.
Because the odds are best that it will come out next. Right? Because there's less cards.
A reasonable choice.
I just don't understand how you can just be, well, it's just luck. It's like, yeah, okay. How many there's so many games that have luck that's even less mitigatable than this game.
It's probably all that stuff's by people who got fucked over during the game.
Yeah, and you're playing it with people who are boring and suck and aren't getting into the game and having fun.
Or people
like
that only like games with no rank, with no luck.
Natalie, even just from the one play we had, that elevated your thought of the game after our play, right?
Yeah,
and not to a level where you like it,
right?
But
like, I still came in dead last, but
tied for dead last.
I don't think so.
But we were all.
She was alone for dead last. Yeah.
I was like moving up the board quickly at the beginning, and then just never got another point again.
Why did it have to happen to her? Oh.
I know.
But I will say that my mind was changed a little bit just because I was going into it and realized during that play, like, I need to have a different mentality. Like, I shouldn't be like, I shouldn't get like butthurt, like, oh, if I don't win this game, like,
because honestly,
it's really just supposed to be about the experience.
The next time you play, moments. Like, it's not like the next time you play, the luck could just go differently, and now you're winning. And so, like,
right, exactly.
You're of course going to have more fun when the luck goes your way. Of course, it's going to be. It's not going to feel good when the luck doesn't go your way. It's just rare that the luck never goes your way. That's rare.
Yeah.
It's also rare that the luck always goes your way. But like.
But that's Vegas, baby.
That's Vegas,
the
baby.
difference too is the first time when I played it, I remember thinking, like, I remember feeling stupid, like, clearly I don't get this game, like, I did so bad. And now playing this time, I was like, okay, clearly, like, I wasn't getting what this game was supposed to be about that first time, which is probably why I didn't like it at all.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I'm like, I'm going to get real amped.
So after those
here.
stupid idiots, what are we doing next?
Yeah. What's next?
Oh, choo-choo, I missed it.
Choo-choo. That's right. We brought it to a halt with another association station, which Natalie called
From
it.
your little rap, and you're like, no, that's not what it means.
If you're unfamiliar with the association station, that means you're a new listener, so yay! So how it works is I get to try to get Jeff and Natalie to guess 10 games one at a time by saying some word or phrase that I think associates with the game in question. It's their job to figure out which game I'm talking about before the other. For example, Constantinople equals...
Istanbul.
Very good.
Oh, what?
Okay, the bell is now equally in the middle between Natalie and I.
She doesn't even care.
Natalie, you ready?
Get that over here.
Are you guys ready to play the association station? I went really quick by that. Basically, I'm going to say a word or phrase that I think associates in some way to the game I'm trying to get them to guess. They have to interpret, based on the clue I'm giving, what game I'm talking about. Are we ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Number one. We haven't done this in a while, right? So we're going to start with this one. This is going to be like, oh, who's going to get it first?
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Or
Here we go.
Not gonna be
or you're going to be like, what?
We're
Number
going to
one.
be like,
Number one. De, cat, cinq, six.
Ooh, are we supposed to race to that
It's
one?
the other way. I thought you were. Number one. De, cat, cinq, six. Natalie.
That's not a game.
Didn't you have something in mind?
I was going to say
nums. Is it
numbers, but I realized the game is called Number 9.
Oh, no, it's
Space.
Number 9.
all right. Should we move on?
I'll guess something.
All right,
Let me guess a French game called Trois.
Correct. De, trois, cat, cinq,
I don't
six.
know French.
Oh, did you leave something out?
I left trois out.
Oh.
De.
I just went with French things.
I just assumed
Cat,
cat was
cinq,
3.
Yeah, I figured everyone knew how to
I know
count the first
Spanish.
5
you,
numbers in
yeah.
French.
Ryan not only knows German, he knows French. This
I
man
know
is...
Spanish, like,
I'm a
that's
worldly
it.
scholar.
this is
You know what I mean?
impressive.
I'm very
Zug
well
zug.
traveled.
Ay.
I've banged a woman in every country.
This is not going well.
Number
When I thought a
2.
game was called Number. I'm like, oh, numbers. I was like, I
No, num num.
was about to say it. And I was like,
Num,
oh
num.
no,
Is it
that's
num,
not
num,
a thing.
Num num.
That's Uncle Jeff's stuff.
No, that's nenin.
Number 2. Asking Benedict Cumberbatch for help.
Oh man.
What?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Asking Benedict Cumberbatch for help.
You can ask him.
Why Benedict Cumberbatch?
He's pretty picky with his roles. He's Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he's also Sherlock Holmes.
He's
No.
Pet Detective. Yes. Sherlock Holmes, Pet Detective. That gets it. Sherlock Holmes, Pet Detective.
Detective.
Yes, correct. Sherlock Holmes.
Yup.
Pet Detective.
Pet Detective.
Num Num. We have Num Nums
Nums and
and Sherlock Holmes. Pet Detective.
Sherlock Holmes, Pet Detective.
I get so nervous.
I get so nervous.
You were already, it's so funny because you were already locked in with your guess. You were like Sherlock Holmes. You had a second to pull it together. Like he wasn't going to jump out in front of you and take it.
The Pet Detective.
Well, you looked at me like there's more, and I was like, oh,
There is more. I mean, there's a lot of games with Sherlock Holmes and titles. So
Yeah.
consulting the because you were basically asking Benedict Cumberbatch for help.
Yeah, boy.
Consulting.
Because your pet went missing. You gotta find the Miami
Benedict
Dolphins
Cumberbatch
dolphin.
bending over with his button and I played Smog the Dragon.
yeah.
All right, number 3. Oh my gosh, COVID-19. Oh, I don't know who that was.
It was Natalie.
It was Natalie.
Yeah,
Pandemic. Correct.
it was Natalie. I touched the side of the bell. Does that count for anything? Probably still second anyway.
Number 4. Swanson? Nope. Jeff.
Castles of Burgundy.
Ain't.
All right.
Swanson? Nope. I love when she stares like directly into my soul.
So I went with like Ron Swanson, Ron
Right, I was
Burgundy,
like, Ron?
Castles of
No, that's a
Burgundy.
good- that was a good
It's
thought.
Not like
well, it
Swanson
wasn't great.
chicken broth.
It wasn't great. Yeah, Chicken broth. Chicken broth.
Num Nums. Sherlock Holmes,
Bring in
Pet
the safe-
Detective, chicken broth.
Say chicken
Not my
broth.
guess. That's just
that's
like
it.
a
That's your guess.
Swanson thing.
Swanson? Nope.
Swanson? Nope.
Okay.
Wait.
Ron Swanson has a good mustache. He's in Parks and Rec. Ronald.
Okay. Number 5. Royal Headbone.
It's cool. Royal Headbone.
Royal Headbone.
Royale Headbone.
Natalie.
Skull King?
Yes! Skull King! Correct.
Oh, I just finished
Very
writing Royal Headbone.
Royal Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaum.
Oh, good job.
What was that one?
Okay,
Skull
that was
King.
Skull King.
I get it.
Yes.
Good one.
I love when Jeff
Yeah.
does that. He always is like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, number 6. Jenna Fisher as Pam Beasley at the Pratt School of Design in the Big Apple.
Ding.
Jeff.
Fake artist goes to New
A
York.
fake artist goes to New York. I am very proud of you
Thanks.
for that one. That was, I thought, the hardest one in here. Very,
All right.
very good. Do you understand it? 'Cause
I understand.
Okay.
I get it. Move on. Detective.
Yeah.
You always
Yes,
do
I
that.
understand. Go.
Well, he's like, do you get it? It's like, he's going to explain it to you.
Well, I mean,
Stop
you know, it was
him.
like kind of, I don't know.
No, that was good.
Okay. All right, number 7. A cootie doodle doo, a cootie doodle doo, chicha, 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 chicha.
Oh, man. Well, I know all these things. I just
I
got
mean,
to put
I
it
know
together.
what it is, but what is the game?
Should I do it again?
Yeah, you should do it again.
Something with chickens.
Yeah, chickens.
Chickens.
But it's also.
Arrested.
Have you ever seen a chicken? Have you ever seen a
Has anyone
chicken?
in this family ever seen Which one did I miss? I missed one. I said cuckoo
ka-cha.
Oh yeah, a cuckoo ka-cha. One of the best ones. A cuckoo ka-cha. A cuckoo ka-cha. But really, the one you need to that will give is a caw.
Because
I
your
thought
chicken.
you got it.
Rococo?
Yes.
Really?
Rococo.
Oh,
Because
all right,
remember,
yeah,
during
yeah, okay.
Rococo, we kept saying Rococo.
All right, got it. Yep.
Yep. Very good. All right. Number 8. This game reminds me of a West Side Story.
Is that like a song?
This game reminds him of a West Side Story.
A West Side Story, like the Jets and the... This game reminds me of
This game reminds me of a West Side Story.
Is that a song lyric?
Yes, it is, and I don't know who it's by or what the song name is. But maybe I'll think of it.
Ready for number 9?
Okay. Number 9.
Okay, number 9.
Wait,
Okay.
this game. I just want to write this.
This game reminds me of a West Side Story.
Damn. I feel like I should know
What
this.
song is this?
Something. Sing it.
Okay, I can't think of the. I can't think of
Well,
it.
you know
Could
that
sing
part
it.
of it.
I'll sing it.
No,
if-
no,
I'll sing it later. Okay.
Okay.
Number 9. Commerce for Natalie. Livonia for Jeff.
That's where you live, Natalie. Yeah. That's where I live, too. But not Commerce. I live in Livonia. That's what Ryan said. It's our hometown. No, it's not our hometown. It's where we live. Place of residence. Is there a game called Place of Residence?
Commerce for Natalie. Livonia for Jeff.
Shoulder bob hand movement. Bobbity bobbity boobity
After a
bob.
while.
Yeah.
First we'll do math. First we'll do science. Natalie.
My city.
My city.
Oh.
Correct. You know what's funny?
It's over.
There's never a illumination with Natalie. Natalie's always like, "What the fuck is it?" Ding, my city.
Yeah, I know.
Like Jeff will at least be like, "What is it?"
Trying to talk it
I
all
get
out.
it. Boom. Like Natalie's
Well, I
like,
feel like I have to be quick.
don't know.
As soon as
what
I
it could
think of it, I gotta
possibly
be like there.
Yeah,
'cause
my
Jeff
city.
As soon as you
it's
think of it, you gotta be like,
immediately-
pet detective. I gotta get it. You gotta get it fast. You gotta
All
get it
right,
fast.
number 10.
Natalie's destroying me.
Is she?
Yeah,
What's,
yeah.
what's the score?
It's 5-2.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's still 2 that neither of you have gotten.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the
And
bell.
are you about to say number 10?
Uh,
Or was that
Her
number
fingers
Yeah, no,
pointed
that
at
was
That was 9. That was 9.
Okay.
One more.
Yeah, no, this is 10. Yeah.
This is 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if Jeff gets this one and the other 2, tied up.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Number 10. Acoustic guitar, hoodies, fall, marshmallows.
What? Acoustic hoo-has. Oh,
Acoustic who has?
bonfire.
Oh, damn.
I got
In my
one.
head, I was like,
Very good.
campfire. I can't.
Yes, campfire.
I know,
yes.
but I didn't put bonfire.
Right.
In campfire.
Okay, so now it's 5-3.
Ooh, man.
So if Jeff gets these other 2, so what are the 2 we
Swanson?
missed? Okay.
Nope.
Swanson.
Oh,
nope.
but you already asked that one.
Oh.
Answered that one.
Yeah.
You haven't done that yet. Okay. Swanson, nope.
Did you guess something for Swanson? Nope.
If she doesn't get it wrong, then you guys can both come back in. And then the last one was this game reminds me of a West Side Story.
Yeah, that's a freaking song.
And I can
what's the
I know the tune of it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, that
Sing it.
No,
it's
I'm
going to
not
help
doing
you
that.
then.
You sing it.
I'm already losing.
Yeah, we need to give Jeff all the
No,
help
you
we
don't
can
get
get.
shit.
Okay, we'll come back to those. Okay, if you guys get any of those, by the way, just shout them out.
Okay.
All right.
You know that'd be fine. So for the top 5 this episode, we took to Patreon, and I made a poll on Patreon, and I let our patrons pick the top 5. And what did they pick this time? One of what I think the funniest lists we're going to have is, because I don't know if Natalie's going to know a single solitary one of these. This is our top 5 favorite expansions. Okay? This is our top 5 favorite expansions. Let's go Jeff, me, Natalie for this one. I'm going to end with Natalie here. Jeff, feel free to preamble away.
I got Swanson note, but I can't ring in, so I'm gonna wait for you to miss it. Or you should just not do it, and then I can't ring in.
That's true. Yeah.
I think I kind of said the answer earlier.
Yes.
I'll just say Swanson's chicken broth so that he can say it.
You're just letting him
Well, I might get it
I don't
wrong,
know.
but
say this. Nope.
spell nope differently.
Oh, Parks.
I think it's Parks, right?
It's
Yeah.
Parks.
Yeah.
It's Parks.
You can have that.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, we'll get that to Jeff. So now it's 4-4.
No, 5-4.
I mean, you
Oh,
basically
5-4.
gave
Now
me
it's
the
5-4.
clue.
Oh, so
Okay,
there's
what are we
only one
doing?
more you didn't get. Oh, yeah.
Join our Patreon.
Yeah,
Oh.
so we're doing our
yeah,
top
top
5
5.
favorite expansions.
The West
Thank
Side
you,
Story.
patrons, for voting this as the list you wanted to most see us do or hear us do in this case.
Yeah.
On episode 72. So, Jeff, go ahead and preamble away with your top 5, your number 5 expansions.
So I think there are a lot of good ones. I think that a good expansion for me is something that is put in the game quickly. That is something that enhances the gameplay, but also doesn't give me like an entirely new game necessarily, or like here's 30 extra boards and here's this. I want something that makes the game more streamlined, better. Maybe if you've played the game enough, gives you more options. My number 5 is the Viticulture Tuscany Essential Edition expansion.
That is a very popular
Yeah.
expansion.
So that one, I think, I don't love the game Viticulture. I played it three-ish times or so. So Devin and I played it once, just
Vanilla?
Viticulture Essential Edition, which
okay.
adds the mamas and the papas.
Yep.
A couple things from, because they've had,
Because that was
a
in the
goofy
original
amount,
Tuscany.
Yeah, a goofy amount of editions and essential editions. The Tuscany, what it adds is it adds different types of workers, so your workers can do special things or more things on the board, which is awesome. But again, that doesn't like change the rules much. It's just you have a different worker that can go on a different spot to do more things, right? But it doesn't change how the gameplay. And then the best thing about Tuscany, in my opinion, is you're placing worker. It's a new board, and you're placing workers in all 4 seasons instead of just 2 seasons.
Okay.
And it really just makes the game, in my opinion, playable. I would never play Viticulture Vanilla or just a regular Essential Edition ever.
Wow. That's bold.
If I'm ever going to play Viticulture again, which I'm sure I will, I'm playing it with Tuscany. If I'm ever introducing it to someone, Tuscany will already be in there. It's just, it makes the game feel complete and go, this is the game that should be played. Here's the game, right? Mm-hmm. So it's my number 5.
Very good. Wow, okay. Number 5 for me, well, first of all, before I talk about this is, I agree with Jeff on a lot of what he said about what he likes in an expansion. I typically do not play with expansions, honestly, as I always find that I don't ever play the base game enough to necessitate needing to expand. Okay, there are certain exceptions to that rule. There's games that I love that I'll just buy expansions for. But I typically find that when I play a game, which I have like 5 or 6 expansions to, I just don't ever do them. Like we just played Teotihuacan, with Sam, and I mean, part of that was because Sam was playing with us, but I have every expansion that's been released for that. We didn't play with any of them. We just played with the vanilla game, and I would play with the vanilla game 15 times before I would ever need to go further with it, I think. Mm-hmm. So an expansion that's great for me is one, Jeff's talked about this, it's one that really doesn't add much rules overhead. It just gives you more options, okay? Like one of the Teotihuacan expansions, which is really good, is it just adds more of those technology tiles.
Yeah.
And that's nothing. There's no rules additions there. It's just you can just trade them out. Or like the Agricola All Creatures Big and Small expansion just has a bunch of new buildings in their expansions. Great stuff like that. So for number 5 for me, this is one that fits almost this exact thing, and it's the Kingsburg expansion called To Forge a Realm. So this introduces like 4 or 5 different modules, but they're all like nothing to add in. They're like awesome expansion modules that are just like basically more of the same and a very small minor tweak to the existing rule set. It doesn't do much to it. And I think if you play Kingsburg enough, getting this is one of those expansions where I would never play without it.
Yeah.
I'm only going to play with it.
Yeah, that's like all my lists are games like that.
Yeah.
Like, they're always in the box. They're in the box, ready to play. It just is the way you set it up.
I would say if you were to buy Kingsburg now, it's an old game now, and if it's still available, I would say buy Kingsburg with the To Forge a Realm expansion. There might even be a new version of Kingsburg that was released that comes with that expansion.
I think so.
Bundled in it. And if it does, that's the way the game should be designed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5. Kingsburg To Forge a Realm. Natalie, what about you? What's your number 5? Yes.
This is great. Yes.
Well,
Is there an expansion for Gloomhaven?
basically.
Natalie, tell us 5 expansions.
Let me give you my preamble.
Okay.
When they said this was going to be our top 5,
I said, fuck.
I was like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not sure I can name 5 expansions. And so I decided not to look anything up and just try to. My top 5 will be expansions that I even know about.
Good one that I have even know about.
There's like a
I
lot
want to
of
go to there.
there's a lot of
there.
games where like I know it has an expansion, but that's like as far as it goes. You know,
I don't know what is actually the expansion
right?
content.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
So some of these, I know what the expansion is. I don't really know the names or anything.
Or if you've played it.
So here we go.
Here we go. Welcome to the roller coaster.
Please.
My number 5
Number
is
5.
Castles of Burgundy has an expansion that gives you extra boards.
Oh, the other boards. That's good.
Right? Is that true?
Yes.
The extra boards
That is
expansion
true.
from Castle of
There you
Burgundy.
go.
There's like 8 or 9 expansions from Castle of Burgundy, and most of them come with extra boards.
Let me tell you what's a better
It's
one.
true.
The trade routes in Castles of Burgundy is a great one. I don't think you guys have played with that.
No.
But that's an
No.
awesome
Haven't.
expansion
Okay.
addition to that
So
game.
Very cool.
There's my number
Yeah,
5.
that's probably some extra boards.
That's a good answer because it doesn't really,
It's
it doesn't
true.
like change the
Yeah.
rules a ton. It just gives
Yep,
you a
you
little
just
bit more of challenge.
play
That
it
is
differently.
Thank you.
an expansion.
Move.
My number 4.
All right, Jeff, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is the Lords of Waterdeep Scoundrels of Skullport.
good one.
So the Scoundrels of Skullport expansion is necessary to take this game from an intro gateway sort of Euro game into a competitive game that I would want to play often.
Agreed completely.
That cool mechanic of the risk and reward of getting these skulls is what the game needed to spice it up. Really, it comes with like 2 extra little boards, but the boards are just more places to put your workers. It's just a little bit more something, and it has a cool little bit extra feeling. Right, there's more cards that get added to the game, more buildings that get added. This is something that I'll never play without.
Plus, there's those sweet decision points with the corruption or whatever that's called.
Yeah, do I take what I need? Because this spot gives me everything I need, but I get a skull, which is now worth -4 points, could be up to -10 points every
people
skull.
keep taking these.
But maybe I have cards that put them back.
Maybe I don't.
It's just a cool. It creates another layer of decision that makes the game, I think, a little bit more for gamers.
It's another game that I don't think I would play without that expansion.
Yes.
My number 4 is the Alien Frontiers Factions expansion. Again, I would never play without
that
this.
would be
You
on
just
your
get
list.
this little faction board, and it just gives you a little power that you can take, and the other players can take it too. But if they do, they got to pay you something, right? They have to give you, or you get a benefit somehow from taking it. And it's just a little tiny little thing. It doesn't really add much at all. I mean, each board has its own little rule that you have to learn, but it takes 2 seconds. And again, I don't think I would ever play this game without the faction boards. It just fits very seamlessly into it. That's my number 4. Natalie, what is the next expansion that you may or may not be able to?
All right. My number 4 is an expansion that is okay, I'm just gonna say it. It's a Sagrada one that makes the game have extra players.
Yeah,
we've never played
5 and 6 player
but I know
expansion.
Yeah, good answer.
That's a good one.
Good
that also
answer.
changes the way you draft if you get 5 players, because you can draft from your own separate dice pool instead of the snake drafting.
Oh,
right, so you could take from the main pile or from your own. So it's kind of cool.
Sweet. We haven't played with that. We have it, but we haven't
good
played
one.
with it.
I have no idea.
You
I
might
think so.
have.
Maybe
You might
at
have
a
demoed
Nerdfest.
it
Played
at
at
Gen.
Nerd.
Oh, okay. Or at Gen Con, we demoed it.
Oh,
once.
that might have been it.
All right, Jeff. What's your number 3?
My number 3, I think the 2 that I already said, Viticulture and Waterdeep, are probably the ones that I think enhances the game the most. But these are the 3 that I have left are ones that I love just adding to the game and are like
Yeah.
Anyway, my number 3 might be different from your number 3, but could be in the same game. The Orleans Trade and Intrigue expansion.
Nice.
So that one it makes those goods that you're traveling around the map picking up worth something, right? You're turning them in. You have a path now. So I look at the map and I just don't go, all right, well, I'm going to go where all the most expensive stuff is. Now I can create a path to then fulfill this trade card. The Intrigue board that replaces the one from the base game is so much better and so much more interactive, and ways to get those little dudes and ladies that you need to score points. That is something that I will, again, always play with, always have in there. I know you guys love the other expansion.
The Invasion expansion, which is my number 6.
Yeah, which I haven't played, but I have.
Gotta play it. Oh, I want you to play it so bad. Okay, my number 3 is another one I'm sure Jeff would have guessed that I put on this list, and it is the Belfort expansion.
Yeah.
The expansion is actually
Best
called
name.
the expansion, which is super cool. And again, it has something that I love, which is similar to the Alien Frontiers factions, where you get your own power. In Belfort, the expansion, you get these assistants that you draft every turn, and they have this sweet power that works differently depending on what phase of the game you're in. And I would never play without those again, because they're just so fun and cool, and they create really good opportunities to catch back up if you're behind. And it's just awesome. It does increase the length a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
But I love it a ton, and that is the Belfort expansion. Natalie,
Good one.
Can you come up with another expansion?
What do you got?
Yes, I came up with an expansion for one of my favorite games, Quacks of Quedlinburg. I think it's called Witches.
I think it's the Witch's Brew. It's like a Witch's Brew or something.
Witches.
It's called the Herb Witches.
Herb Witches.
Oh,
Yeah,
Herb
Herb
Witches?
Witches, yeah.
Is that the one that has the thing at the bottom, the little track?
Nope.
Okay,
That's
well,
just in the base game. You just
I
flip it
just know
over.
that
That one is a
an
good one.
expansion called Witches. I don't know what it does.
That one
It gives
has
you different
Herb
ingredients. There's
extra
like different
ingredients, but it also
okay.
gives you that bronze, silver, and gold coin to then
Yes.
spend
Okay.
on the witch power.
See, I know what it is now.
Nice.
The witch power is a cool
And I
We
thing.
do own that, so
Say
they're
it's
very
my
good.
number
That's a good one.
three.
Yeah.
Good. All right, Jeff, what's your number?
A witch's
3?
brew or something.
Is it the one that you do this? Nope.
No, the Quacks, that was on my honorable mentions. I'm going to talk about my favorite game ever, the Underwater Cities New Discovery expansion.
Cool.
I like for multiple reasons. One, they upgrade the piece of garbage board that came in the base game.
True.
Which the boards, the dual layered boards are incredible, and like the domes fit in there, and the little tunnels fit in there, and it just looks awesome. What I like the most about this one is the kind of jump start mechanic that the game comes with, and the new assistance. So you get a card that starts the game. In the base game, it's kind of a boring. Everybody has the same one. This one gives you a little bit of direction, and it gives you a really cool power that you could probably do once every few turns.
Right.
And then you get a little tile that jumpstarts your economy, and instead of playing in the first round, you start in the second round, which speeds the game up a little bit, gives you stuff to start the game, and again, a little bit of direction, and that one I'll always play with. There's also this new Discoveries board that you remember we played that. Yep. It creates, if you enjoy a race element, which I kind of go back and forth of whether or not I love the new Discoveries board, but it creates a race element. So the faster you get to certain points on your main board, the more bonuses you can get on this extra board. Overall, a very, very good expansion. Downside is it's just expensive because of the boards, right? I think it's the cost of the game. It's like $50.
Wow.
Because you're getting, we're actually getting a lot more of those boards because there's they're front and back, and there's multiple of them because you can play. It's kind of like Castles of Burgundy where the boards are different, but it's really expensive. So there's a lot of cardboard in there.
Yeah, if this is one of your favorite games or your favorite game, then that expense is not a big deal. But yeah, if this is a game you're like okay on, maybe
you don't have to get it. But for me, it kicks the game up for me.
Cool.
Kicks it up a notch. Bam.
Kicks it up.
Number 2 for me is this is a game that has like 100 expansions to it, and I just picked what I think is the best one. And this is my gateway game, Carcassonne, and the Inns and Cathedrals expansion. I think if you're going to buy one expansion for Carcassonne, you get the Inns and the Cathedrals. It comes with these Inns and Cathedral tiles, which are just so much better. They have like a bunch of different shapes on them to the original tiles. There's the Cathedral tiles, which are like these huge tiles that have like city on all sides, and then you get the giant meeple, the big meeple, which is worth 2, which is really freaking sweet. That's also contained in the Inns and Cathedrals expansion, and that's my number 2. Carcassonne, Inns and Cathedrals.
Nope. Ryan's favorite Carcassonne expansion is the Catapult.
Catapult.
The Catapult is Ryan's favorite
stupid ass
Carcassonne Catapult. It might be the goofiest expansion that's ever been made, but it's really funny.
I was winning.
It's really, really funny.
That tournament that
until
we had
you bobbled that meeple. There's literally, Natalie, a part where you're taking this little thing and you're flicking a meeple up in the air, and you gotta catch it. One of the things is
it's like a catapult. You're like launching it from a catapult.
And Ryan was doing well, and he bobbled the meeple and dropped it, and it created a great memory, but an angering memory.
Yeah. Angry Ryan.
I mean, it was funny, but not to me.
Not funny.
But not to me.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie, what's your number 2?
Okay, my number 2 is, again, I don't know the name, but there's an Istanbul expansion that had some cocoa to it.
The cocoa.
No, not cocoa. Coffee.
Coffee.
There you go.
Coffee beans.
Yep.
Yeah, the Mocha and Bakshish expansion.
Yes, that's the one.
There's also Letters and Seals, and there's also the camel.
Oh yeah, I played with Letters and Seals. Oh yeah, I played with all of them.
You sure have.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
The only
did that
one I
very
remembered
fast.
was coffee, which I thought was cocoa.
Mocha
so there
and
you go.
Bakshish. Yes, it comes with the new coffee resource.
Yep.
And there's new boards, and you can play on. So it's typically a 4x4 grid.
I think it's 4x4,
and then I think it makes it 4x5 or 5x4.
And then
I don't think it's 5x5. I think it's 5x4.
Yeah, and then I think if you add letters
and seals,
it might go 5x5
and maybe it goes 5 by
or
5.
6, something like that.
Yeah.
That's a great one. That was
They're
on my
all
honorable
awesome.
mentions because they're both really good. It adds another way to get gems, but
Yep.
Yeah.
but again creates this cool thing where I have so many different paths, but I'm doing the same stuff. You're not adding this massive rule set.
Right.
My number 1 is a game that has a shit ton of expansions, but I'm going to pick what I think is the best one. Terraforming Mars Prelude expansion.
Cool.
Is
We haven't played with any of them yet. We have them all.
and I would say because you don't play that game a ton, that would be the one that you would put in there right away and always play with it. The other ones are some extra boards and the planets are different and whatnot. Prelude adds new corporations. I think they're called corporations.
Yep.
Those little factions that you get, and then it also adds again this startup card, this engine building card to start the game to again speed it up a little bit to give you some direction. And I like that in games like this that feels like, well, what the hell do I do first? How do I get an engine going? Or it's 3, 4 turns, 5 turns until I feel like I have anything. This kind of gives you something to start with, and I think that elevates the game from. It's a great game, but this is a big one that I love that I'll always play with.
Very good. Very good. My number 1 This is a game that at one point or another was my number one game of all time, and it's got about 5 or 6 expansions to it now, all that give you more aliens and add more player powers. But the reason I picked the Cosmic Incursion expansion for Cosmic Encounter is because it comes with this reward deck, which is like the coolest thing about that game. So in that game, when you are going onto defense with somebody and you win, it gives you more of an incentive to go with the defender versus the attacker. When you go with the attacker and you win, you get a colony, and remember 5 of those, and you just win the game. When you're defending, if you win, you get cards from the deck, or you can take cards from this special new rewards deck that you only get if you help with the defensive side of things. And it's just awesome because those have like really interesting cards in there. They have like multiplier ones and they have a bunch of different really cool cards in there. And that's another one. Once I played with it, I was like, how did I ever play without this? It's so much better with this little deck. And then plus it comes with like 25 or 20 new aliens.
I thought about this. I thought about Cosmic Encounter, and I was like, which one do I? There's a million of them. They just add a whole shit ton of shit to it. Here's the cards.
Right.
Yeah,
I specifically picked this one because this is the one that added the rewards deck. So that's my number one. Cosmic Encounter, Cosmic Incursion. All right, Natalie. You got to have one that's you think is the best.
Oh, it is. This is the best. And I didn't know the name of it, but then you guys said it earlier, so I wrote it down. Now I know the name of it.
Orlean Invasion.
Yeah.
Orlean Invasion.
You did that to me last episode, remember?
Orlean Invasion. That makes it co-op, and that was my favorite way to play Orlean so far, and so that's my number.
We should play that again soon.
Good.
We had
Yeah.
that. It was so much fun.
Yeah, you
It
should.
was.
You got any honorable mentions?
The one I had was Orlean Invasion.
Okay. I have like all the Chronicles of Crime spinoffs.
Yeah,
Does that count?
Yeah, sure.
Saboteur 2.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
Saboteur 2 adds all the new rules.
Yeah, adds a couple cool things. All these Survive expansions I think are great with like the dolphins and all that kind of stuff is cool. Tapestry, the Plans and Ploys is an awesome expansion. The Ladies of Troyes.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Is an amazing one.
That's one I would never play without.
Right. The Quacks, the Witches, Bitches, or Witches Brew or whatever.
Like a Witches Brew or something?
The Nidavellir expansion, Thingvellir. I had Castles of Burgundy stuff. I had Istanbul. And probably about a dozen that I'm not remembering.
Yeah.
But those are it. Natalie, any honorable mentions?
Everdell, Pearlbrook.
Okay.
Pearlbrook, wow.
Well,
that's the one that everybody hates, but that's the one.
No, this isn't my favorite.
but-
These are ones that I can think of.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That's why I didn't make my list.
You're right.
Yeah,
I
Okay.
had ones that I actually think I liked.
Extra cards for monikers.
The Quacks one that
Yeah,
had
I
the thing on the
thought of
bottom.
monikers. I was like, monikers has a bunch
Monikers,
of
monikers.
expansions.
Twisted, the Twister expansion.
The only other thing I wrote
Space
down.
2,
I wrote
Space.
Teotihuacan, and then I wrote question
The Pet
mark.
Detective expansion for Sherlock Holmes.
You're solving all pet crimes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know that. I don't know the song. Should we wait or should we?
Can you sing it?
Yeah. Okay. This game reminds me of a West Side Story.
Yeah, I know the tune. I'm gonna like punch myself because I feel like I've heard this song like a million times. I probably like burned it onto a CD when I was in middle school.
Living a life in Spanish Harlem.
I know.
Just like a movie star. Hey.
I know. I know what you're doing.
Stop it now.
I know it. I'm not gonna get it.
Is it like a Santana song?
No.
Oh. What song is this?
Let me see who sings it.
Rather, what's that story?
It is Santana, actually. Yeah, you're right. It is Santana.
Oh, okay, so that's not helpful then. To
Well-
the game.
Featuring the product G&B.
Damn.
So we have to know like the name.
It's probably
of
the
it
name
to
of the
maybe
song.
like get the game.
Probably.
Oh man.
Probably. I can tell it to you. Should I tell it to you?
Probably.
Sing more of the song.
Why don't you sing the
that's really-
words
I mean, that's
that are
really-
the? Why don't you
yeah,
sing the
well,
words that are the name of it?
I would think you would get it from what I sang. Na, 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 na. That's what you need to get. You remind me of a West Side Story.
I don't know. I can't think
Living
of
a
it.
life in Spanish Harlem.
All right.
Let's find the box.
What is it?
The box is over there on the bottom left.
Kanban reminds me of a West Side Story.
Bottom left.
Oh shit.
Ding in. Ding in.
Ding.
Jeff.
It's Maria.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Maria.
Damn.
Yes, you're right. By
Heard that
Santana.
fucking song too.
You knew it. Yep. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts serve as the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters. You will find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. If you like the show, again, we would love it if you would consider giving us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen that allows you to rate us. We've also got a Patreon now. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters. There is also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters, Mad Board Gamer, Gateway gear. So head on over to thegatewaynetwork.com/store. Please follow me and consider subscribing on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamecasters. So, for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody.